Good evening, brothers, sisters, and gender norm resistors. It's a new year, which means it's time to get back, and it's Friday, which means it's time to get back into the SS Bellend with the Pirates of the Geek Vortex and me, your captain, Ollamh. Oh, I forgot to hit that. There we go. That's better. It's always kind of, I always forget that for some reason. I always seem to forget to add that cam controller program. It allows me to zoom in a lot better than Logitech and has a whole lot better stuff. So, yes, welcome everybody. It is a new year. We're back. I forgot my jacket, so once I undeafen myself, we'll get into it. So let's go ahead and do that. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Or
hello.
Oh, hey. I was gonna say, or at least Rasclin, because I.
Yep, we're here. And you may hear some cooking sounds in the background, but nothing as crazy as last week.
Well, that's good, I think.
I'm not making Alfredo, I'm just making some veggie burgers.
I still see veggie burgers are one of those things I can't get with.
These are the Beyond Burgers, so they're a little different.
Well, that's something.
Now, one thing I sometimes do with these is I'll put queso on one side and salsa on the other. And I call it the fast food equivalent of a PB&J.
That's fair.
Works for me.
It's actually starting to get a little. For some reason, I'm starting to get a little chilly, so I'm actually going to go grab my jacket.
It has been that kind of night. It is very cold. A dog wants my burgers, and it's like, no, they would kill you, girl. They're made of garlic and onions.
Yeah, not good for puppers.
It is not.
To take the risk.
So yeah, hey, everybody's here, and like right off the bat, that's kind of unusual.
That's very unusual.
Maybe unusual is not welcome, I think. Girl, stop trying to beg for burgers.
So yeah, this week has actually been kind of, I don't know, at least for me, it has seemed kind of calm and collected, which is unusual.
Now, if you watch the news,
Well, yeah, but
I was about to say, it's calm and collected with that undercurrent of what do you call it? Insincerity or danger? I don't know.
Doesn't the news normally focus on negativity most of the time, though?
it's true, it does.
It's like it's how they get their rating.
Yep.
But this is a thing for more than just mainstream news. So, have we all heard the Wizards of the Coast news?
I have not.
No.
Okay, so years ago, many of you will remember the open game license released in the 3rd edition era, saying that other companies could use the D&D rules to make product.
Mm-hmm.
And it was made with the understanding that it could not be revoked. They did try briefly to revoke it in the 4th edition era. It failed. The Hasbro is now attempting to revoke it again. And the guy who wrote it in the first place says, no, stop that. That's stupid. We pretty much made that ironclad that you can't.
Yeah.
So, fun.
Yeah.
For those of you in the audience, go ahead.
I was gonna say, why don't people like read the stuff that they I understand trying to be like, oh no, we bought this, now we want complete and utter control. It's like, but you still have to adhere to the rules that are set forth. So
yes, prior agreements. It's like when Disney tried to say we're not liable for any agreements that Lucasfilm made. It's like, I think you'll find you are.
Yeah.
But, yeah. It may be that they understand it's not going to work, but they have to try anyway for legal reasons of, expanding what they do. Who knows? Oh. But, yeah, that means every group that has been making a living for the past several years off of D&D compatible work is going to be coming in and saying, bad Hasbro, no biscuit. Only they're going to say it through lawyers. Because no one likes having their entire publishing company yanked out from under them.
Yeah.
Yes, some of these people could go off and make old rules, but we all remember what happened the last time that Wizards / Hasbro / TSR said the OGL is currently revoked. Paizo said that's nice and created Pathfinder using the previous edition's rules. So even if the gods help us, somehow the lawyers pull this off, there'll still be previous editions to go to.
Yeah.
But at the same time, that doesn't make this any less stupid.
True. One of the things that I saw come up a couple days ago, or I think it was a couple days ago, was Tesla's promotions for their Cybertruck.
Oh, God.
Yeah, no, I heard.
And
I
one
heard
of
about
the stupidest, just absolutely stupid little things that
How
they put in
stupid
there.
was it?
It's literally meaningless. It has the pulling capacity. It has a pulling capacity of near infinite mass, which means nothing. It literally means nothing at all.
They wouldn't tell you the actual poundage or weight class or what.
Well, they told you the towing poundage, but thing is pulling is actually a little bit different.
Yes.
But the fact that they use the term near infinite mass, it's like that literally means nothing at all.
If it has no weight, yes, you could pull infinite mass. That's physics.
No, near infinite mass is, well, there is, near infinite mass could be 5 pounds, could be, a very small mass. It's still near infinite. It's as near to infinite as, 5 pounds is as near to infinite as 5 million pounds. Start at both of them, count to 1 million, see which one you get, or count to infinity and see which one you get to first. Using infinity as the end as the point of reference, it's like everything is near. It can be near infinite.
Yeah.
This is interesting. So I just went on Google, and you know how they give you those recommendations. So the recommendation I got is that there is a upcoming Blade Runner, the role-playing game, tabletop game, coming out by Free League Publishing.
Wait, what was the publisher again?
Free League Publishing.
I do not know that one.
I'm seeing what other tabletop games they've made. Doesn't look like it. It doesn't list any of their other games. All right, well, well, that's cool. Maybe this is their first. I don't know.
I was gonna say, yeah, it could be a brand new company that doesn't have anything else.
It looks
Branch
interesting.
off with someone else.
Definitely looks interesting. Would be even more interesting if this news article would not use screenshots from the video game. Jesus, it makes it very confusing.
Wow.
It's talking about the tabletop game, but it's showing screenshots from the Westwood Studios game.
Yeah, that's just a little messed up.
Yeah.
Yeah. What website is this?
Oh, good question. Let me look. It is bloodydisgusting.com. I don't know. I've never heard
of them, but
They're iffy.
I haven't even heard that they're iffy. I've just heard they exist. They're a thing.
There you go.
Ringing endorsement. They do exist.
I mean, there's a few of them. I'll tell you just, oh God, get away from that one. But Bloody Disgusting doesn't make me say get the hell away. It just makes me go, well, that's a thing.
Yeah, fair enough. And then coming out, I think it's on the 15th, is the Last of Us TV series finally getting released on HBO Max, I believe it is.
Is this thing live action or animated?
It's live action. It's with Pedro Pascal as Joel and Bella Ramsey as Ellie, which is I believe is a poor choice. Getting Bella Ramsey, a British actress who doesn't even have the facial structure as Ellie, to play Ellie. But whatever, we'll see. I'm not going to judge the series until I watch it.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, you know, the getting the right facial structure and stuff like that.
It's not easy.
Yeah, as a new interpretation of the story, you have to give them a certain leeway.
Oh yeah. No, I will. I plan to see it. From what I've seen of the special effects, it looks amazing. If the trailers are anything to go by, it could possibly be one of the best video game to TV adaptations ever. If the trailer is anything to go by.
Yeah, that's
yeah.
That's always a big if.
Yeah, I know. But so that comes out I think next week, I guess.
Yeah, that's one of them that I haven't seen anything that HBO Max has really has on their list that's really driven me to
want to subscribe.
Yeah, I want to get a subscription.
Exactly.
They have one thing that I like. They have Harley Quinn.
Okay, I suppose I could see that, but it's like, yeah, that's not. I don't know. That's not one of those things that it's like, oh, hey, that's absolutely something that's worth it and really gonna.
Yeah, I would buy physical media of it separately, but I'm not going to go out and get a subscription to HBO Max for Harley Quinn. No.
Yeah. But yeah, so what are you guys looking forward to in 2023? Game or movie or television wise or whatever else?
I'm hoping to see if Bloodlines 2 ever gets released from development hell.
It might be worth a couple more years.
That's what I gather. Other than that, I'm waiting to see what White Wolf releases for their World of Darkness 5th edition lineup and whether or not they resurrect Vampire the Requiem and other items that have been left to languish since 2020 in Chronicles of Darkness.
Now, when you say Vampires the Requiem, you're referring to the tabletop game, or are you referring to the actual game? Because there was a game called Vampires the Requiem.
I'm referring to the tabletop game that has not seen a new source book since 2020.
Okay.
And that's just kind of odd, considering it was just being published right alongside Vampire the Masquerade just fine. I like them both. Do I have an obvious favorite? Probably, because, well, no, not even then, really. I've got a decent amount of the merch of both, because I like having printed books.
Fair.
I am a library whore.
That's an interesting way of putting it.
And one day I will post photos of my library. Hell, I might do it tonight. And you will see just how obscene I am with my book collections of RPGs. How many box sets I've got from the 80s and 90s alone.
I mean, I'm sure we all have like our massive collection of whatever. I mean, my for me it's video games. For you it's books.
Yes.
I'm sure Ollamh has a massive collection of something or other. I'm pretty sure we all do.
Books, games, yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
As I stand or look around the 4 bookshelves and massive piles of books because I ran out of bookshelves.
There you go.
Yeah,
I've literally been asking friends if they have bookshelves I could buy off of them, and well, everyone just said, "Hey, go build your own." It's like, well, that's not exactly what I asked, but okay.
Most of the people that we know, Rascalin, any bookshelves that they have are probably heavily in use.
It's true.
Yeah. Yeah. Surprisingly, I don't have that many books. My bookshelves are used for DVDs. DVDs and Blu-rays.
DVDs, Blu-rays, books, games, tabletop games.
I think the only books I have mainly are like strategy guides for games. I have the odd hardcover book, but as a general rule, it's mostly video game related.
Fair enough.
It's a typical, I am more of a nerd than a literature buff. Me, I just read almost everything, which means I have things in here that I've read once and should throw away, but just I'm not going to.
See, I don't know. I know that back in the day, my folks used to always say that. Oh, well, you're done reading this, throw it away. I'm just like, no. What's wrong with reading a book over and over? Why do you have to just read it once and throw it away? Oh.
There are a lot of people that, yeah, they look at that and they're like, oh, that's just clutter now. You've read it once.
Yeah. Yeah, for me, it's like, you know, somewhere down the road, I may want to read it again. So, I'm not going to toss. I mean, obviously, I've tossed stuff out, but I mean, you know, generally, most of the books that I really enjoy, I keep and read over and over. Definitely, if they interest me, anyway.
I was gonna say, I don't have a lot of books that most of the books that I have read over and over again and will read over and over again.
Yeah. Well, it's the same way with video games for me. It's like, well, I don't just buy a video game, play it once, and then throw it away. That's silly. I must have played the same video games over and over countless times. I just enjoy them for their story, and, you know, like, I don't get sick of them. Like, I know that some people are like that. They can only play a game once, and once they beat it, they're done with it. But I'm not one of those people.
Yeah, I've never understood people like that. I don't.
Yeah. Yeah.
I usually beat it, then I go for the, hey, what can I do different? And then maybe if the second run doesn't, you know, irritate hell, I go for the 100% run.
That's just it, though. Most modern day video games have multiple replayability, multiple endings, and, you know, you really get your bang for your buck. And not for every game, of course, but for quite a few of the bigger titles, you know, you've got your multiple different endings, so you can always do that replayability. Or in the case of No Man's Sky, play until you die. Because you're never going to find every damn planet.
Yeah. I will say this much. I said it in the Discord server. As far as like Red Dead Redemption 2, I stop it when I will always stop at when Arthur dies. It's like they really did not need to have an epilogue for it.
I actually liked John Marston's filler because it fills in some of the unanswered questions that lead into Red Dead Redemption 1,
well,
which is technically
that's the problem, though. It's like they had to do epilogues because I swear it's because they're like, oh no, this is a perfect ending. Dutch goes his way, Micah goes his way, Arthur dies, boom, everything's done, it's all wrapped up, it's great. It's like, but wait, why didn't we ever mention Micah in the first game? Yeah. Fuck! Now we got to address that. It's
well,
like
I think the thing I really like,
you created a continuity error, and it's like, well, all right, we got to keep going then. It's like,
yeah, no, I get that, and you're probably 100% right on that. But what I liked about the John Marston part of the game was I just liked, you know, the whole segment where you're building his house, building the farm. And that was really cool to me. I don't know. It was just something different, something unique. So I enjoyed that.
Yeah, for me, it just felt like it felt unnecessary.
Okay.
It's like you don't have to to lead up to, to show every last little thing that leads up to the first game. It's like we understand Marston goes off and does his thing and eventually gets the money together to buys land and stuff like that. It's like, okay, we understand that is just generally accepted. You don't have to do every last little thing. Like I said, I think I really do think that they were like, okay, this is the ending. It's like, oh shit, but why didn't John have to go after Micah along with Dutch?
That's the part.
Everybody.
That's the part that felt forced to me. That part there. The rest was fine, but then the whole scene where like, oh, I have to avenge John Marston's death. Like, come on, dude. You weren't even that close to him to begin with. You barely ever talked to him. You did the odd mission with him. Like, I mean,
Arthur.
suddenly. What did I say? It's nice.
You said John
no,
Marston.
Sorry. Yeah. No, John Marston going after Micah because of Arthur's death. That scene near the ending where he goes after them with Sadie, it felt forced as hell. It's like you never really. John Marston's a character in the second game. Never really spent all that much time with Arthur, and 90% of the time he's like, "Oh, you know, can you take care of my kid for me?" and stuff. It was silliness, and then suddenly, all of a sudden, you know, he's so wrapped up in putting an end to Arthur's death. It just felt really forced.
Yeah, and that's part of why I don't really like their whole the whole you know build up and an explanation as to how Marston buys the land, because if he didn't go after that, he wouldn't, you know, according to their story, he wouldn't have had the money to buy the land, because it's the money that Dutch and Micah had put together that was the gate that enabled him to buy the land. It's like, but just that's why it's kind of like, even the, you know, getting the land together and stuff like that, it's like that even feels forced, because it's like they have to shoehorn in, well, how did he get the money? Oh, well, he, you know, it's the Blackwater tape.
It's that, and the whole thing felt like it literally felt like he was just buying all this to appease his wife, who ironically treated him like shit 99.9% of the time. Like, I don't understand. I never even liked her in the first game. Like, she was so annoying, and in the second game she's just as bad. She's such an annoying character. She has no appreciation for him whatsoever, and he's going out and doing all this stuff for her. I'm just like, what? Just divorce her. Like, just move on. Like, I don't know. It just felt like so forced. Oh, we have to do this to make our wife happy. All right.
I think it's more along the lines of he has, you know, he has to acknowledge that he has a kid, because that was a big thing during the second game. It was kind of like, well, I don't even, you know, it's like, well, is he even my kid? It's like, do right by, you know, everybody's telling him to do right by his son. He's like, but I don't even know if he's my kid. And it's like,
yeah,
dude, you're just being a dickbag at this point.
Yeah.
And I mean, I can understand, hey, you know, well, you know, trying to get away from the life, and it's like, well, who the hell else are you gonna, you know, it's like, in a situation like that, it's like, she's not gonna be able to take care of the kid by herself.
I think if you ever play Red Dead Redemption 1 on your stream afterwards, you're gonna find it really funny when you meet Uncle for the first time. And so in Red Dead Redemption 1, it's a totally different voice actor. And he doesn't even sound the same as the Uncle in Red Dead Redemption 2. It's like night and day. And the reason for that is the voice actor who played Uncle in the first game died before they started production on the second game. So they had to recast for Uncle. And the person who was cast as Uncle for the second game literally doesn't even sound the same at all. It's very weird.
Well, it's one of those things, they, you know, if they do, I mean, Uncle, even in the second game, is already elderly.
Well, he was in the well, technically the first game, but yes, I know what you're saying.
No, he was already old in the second game. He was already gray and old. You know, he was somewhere between Dutch and Hosea's age.
Yeah, that's true.
And he was a drunk. He was consistently
he's
drunk.
always a drunk. He's always a drunk. That's 90% of his life.
But he's cleaned up his act quite a ways by the time he's part of by the time he's kind of supposed to be safeguarding the Marston homestead.
You see, I have to replay the first game
I
again.
mean,
but
they even made a point of it when, you know, when it was like, I've seen a few clips where it's like, okay, so like, you know, Marston comes back and it's, you know, well, they killed all the chickens and stole the cattle. And Uncle comes up and he's like, hey, I was not drunk, nothing like that. I'm, you know, I did what I could. He is trying to be a better person.
Yeah, I need to replay the first game again because I don't really remember that. I haven't played the first game in a very long time. I do have it for my Xbox One, but I haven't played it in forever. But yeah, it's also interesting to see the cast members interact with each other because the voice actor who plays John Marston in both the first and the second game, he always says stuff like, "Oh yeah, no, this series wouldn't be anything without the actor who voices Arthur Morgan." And then the actor who voices Arthur Morgan turns around and says, "Nope, you're the one who created this, who made this series. Pretty much, it's not me." And it's so funny to see how humble they are with each other.
I mean, it's one of those things where it's like, well, one created it, one drastically improved upon it.
Oh yeah,
I would say, you know, the Red Dead Redemption 2.
I would definitely recommend if I was like recommending the games to friends who haven't played it, I would say skip the first game entirely and go straight into Red Dead 2 because that game is the superior one by far. Red Dead 1 is okay. I mean, it's good if you want to know the whole story, but as a game, I wasn't too impressed with it.
I mean, that's a problem though, as far as comparing the two, is one came out after much later, and you know, they had fine-tuned a lot of the things that they wanted to be part of the series, so
yeah,
it's always difficult to say, oh well, this one is the better, you know, the second one's the better one. It's like, well, yeah, but the second one's also has a drastic improvement in just, you know, how the game plays,
technology-wise and everything. But yes, absolutely. Now it's interesting. Sony is releasing their upcoming. I'm not the least bit interested in it, but Sony is releasing this month. I think it's the ending of this month. Their brand new PlayStation VR 2 headset for the PS5. Stat-wise, it's probably the most powerful VR headset on the market. Cost-wise, it's probably not worth it right now. Maybe if it's on sale in the future.
Cost-wise, well, you know,
yeah.
Any VR stuff is comes with a heavy initial price tag.
Yeah. I remember when I first got my Quest 2, I paid I think it was close to $1,000 for everything.
Yeah, but you're Canadian, so that's.
Oh, shut up. Triple the cost. I know. You don't have to remind me.
I was just saying there is a difference as far as all that.
I know.
But see, I have heard rumors. I have heard rumors and suggestions that we might hear something as far as Red Dead Redemption this year.
Wait, what? What do you mean? Another Red Dead Redemption?
Yes. That there's a possibility that they might be looking at number 3.
Ooh,
that's
interesting.
Which begs the question of where would they go with it?
I don't know.
Could they modernize it? I know that's already sounding horrible.
That'd be Grand Theft Auto.
Well,
pretty much.
You don't hunt down bounties in Grand Theft Auto, do you?
No, but I mean, Red Dead Redemption is made by Rockstar, which also makes Grand Theft Auto. Modernized Red Dead Redemption, you've got Grand Theft Auto.
Pretty much, yeah.
And they're already making a new Grand Theft Auto, so Now, it would be interesting to see. I think it would be interesting to see to see like if we took on Dutch. If we went back to see where Dutch got its origins.
Why do I feel like if they made a third game, it would follow Sadie?
I feel
like it would.
I don't think it would.
No?
I don't think it would, simply because we know where we see where Sadie starts, we see where Sadie ends. I mean,
True.
we see where Sadie gets her start as far as joining the gang and becoming an outlaw and stuff like that. That's in Red Dead Redemption 2. We know that she becomes a bounty hunter in Red Dead Redemption 1.
I always found it funny how Arthur treated her like a human being, and everybody else just treated her like a damsel in distress.
Well, except for Micah, who treated her like...
Well, Micah treated everybody like a piece of shit.
Yeah, but he didn't try and sexually assault anybody else.
No.
He did Sadie.
Yeah.
Remember, he was the one that found her, and he was chasing her all around the cabin trying to get to her.
I don't know if he was trying to sexually assault her, though. I thought he was just trying to grab her and kill her.
The way he is with women, nah, dude was that character was a scumbag from start to finish.
Oh yeah. I still love Peter Blomquist, I believe that's his name, who voices Micah, and the Q&A panel at the convention the one year. He's like, yeah, my name's Peter Blomquist. I play the asshole in Red Dead Redemption 2. And everybody's like, yeah, Micah.
Yeah, that's accurate. I mean, it does take a pretty quality actor to be able to truly properly portray a villain like that.
No, yeah, no.
Like
I
somebody
mean, like,
that
he's
you
been
really
working...
just deep down just are like, no, I absolutely hate this character. It's like that takes a lot of work.
He's been working with Rockstar for a while, though. I think he did some voice work in GTA 4 and 5. And he's also in L.A. Noire. He's a main character in L.A. Noire. So he's done a lot of stuff besides Red Dead 2, Rockstar-wise. So it almost feels like to me, like, I've said this before, but it almost feels like to me, like, once you, unless you burn your bridges with Rockstar, once you become a voice actor with them, you're going to be brought on for multiple projects with them. Because they don't forget. And
they don't forget, and also they, like all of the background characters have voice lines.
Mm-hmm.
That's something that a lot of games don't really do. They don't have like unique voice lines and stuff. Like you can hear in Red Dead Redemption 2, even you can hear Lenny and John at least in 2 or 3 other side background characters.
Yep. No, it's pretty awesome. I think the only game that I was shocked by that had a lot of voice work for NPCs and stuff like that was Scarface, The World Is Yours on the PS2. And that was a Sierra game, and open world Sierra game, and it was really impressive. They got a really good sound-alike voicing Al Pacino's character. And every NPC in the game, Al Pacino's character, Tony Montana could go up to them. Every NPC, you could go up to them and have a full-on conversation with them. You could interact with them, and he would like you keep on hitting the interact button. He would have a full-on conversation with them, and after you finish your conversation with them, you get awarded points. And you use the points towards leveling up. But every NPC on the street, you were allowed to have a full-on conversation with them, talk to them, and everything. It was really cool. And that was the first time I had ever seen that done in a game to that extent. And I haven't really seen it since. I mean, you definitely see NPCs talking to one another on the street, but you don't see that level of interactivity where you could talk to every single NPC in an open-world environment and have a full-on conversation. And that to me was very impressive, and still is to this day very impressive. But then I expect nothing less from a company like Sierra. I mean, they were always innovative and they were always pushing the boundaries, at least back then.
I was gonna
And
say.
they may do so again. I mean, under their new company, Cygnus Entertainment, with the upcoming, and that actually releases very soon too. By the way, I think that releases in February or March. But the Colossal Cave remake, which the initial game inspired Roberta Williams to found Sierra Online.
Yeah.
And I mean, that was the game that made Sierra a thing. It wasn't made by them, but it was the inspiration for Mystery House, which was Roberta Williams' first adventure game with graphics. And from there, we went on to King's Quest.
Now, I will say, I am kind of interested in seeing what they do with the DLC for Cyberpunk 2077.
Yes, I knew you were going to say that. I was about to say yes, Cyberpunk. Yes, I agree. I'm excited. I feel like that is a game where you have limitless potential with future stories. I feel, because it's such a beautiful world that they've created, and they mention a whole bunch of stuff that you don't get to see, a whole bunch of different parts of the world that you don't get to see. So it'd be interesting to, like, as an example, when Judy goes off to her parents' house on another part of I can't remember where she said she went. She moved to her parents' house somewhere. And it'd be interesting to make a trip there, and I'm not saying it's going to be in the game, but you know what I mean. There's so much that you can still do with that series and with that beautiful world they've created, and the fact that I don't know if it's still a thing, but Project Red said that they're going to be supporting the game for another 4 years. Whether that means they're going to be adding even more DLC somewhere down the road or whatever, that'd be cool.
Well, I mean, let's be honest. That could mean that, hey, they're going to be trying to fix shit for the next 4 years.
I mean, yeah, that's true too. But it's pretty fixed at this point. It's definitely. I don't notice as many bugs as there used to be. It's definitely a lot better. It's definitely and it's doing really well. It just won another award, actually. I just read about the other day. It won for 1 sec. Let me look this up. So I just shared this article to a friend of mine who's a big fan of Cyberpunk 2077, and I figured he'd get a kick out of this. Cyberpunk 2077 wins Labor of Love Award at Steam Awards show. There you go. Labor of Love Award. And I'm assuming that's because they never gave up on it. That they, even though they realized they fucked up initially, they never just abandoned the game. They worked towards improving it, and they did a fantastic job. And the sales have skyrocketed since the anime. So the anime definitely helped improve the sales of the game. I know that a lot of the anime was amazing. I know a lot of people who initially abandoned the game. A lot of my friends who initially abandoned the game said, "No, this game is a pile of shit. I'm never going to play it again." Have gone back to it and said, "No, this game's amazing." So, how quickly the tables turn.
Well, I mean, also you have to remember it is, they did do a whole hell of a lot of work as far as improve, as far as fixing a lot of their fuck ups.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Now, I will say also one of the other things that I am looking forward to seeing what Marvel does. I am very much looking forward to the Disney Plus stuff, because they've got a lot of stuff in the works that's has a lot of potential. I mean, they've got the Mandalorian season 3, which is one that I'm very interested to see where they go with from there.
And so I'm curious, is Pedro Pascal done with that series now? Is that what's going on there?
Not
So
that
he
I-
just took time off to work on The Last of Us then.
Well, they were still working on, you know, on writing everything, filming everything, editing, and stuff like that. I mean, that's not a show that's quick to produce.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I understand that. I thought I read somewhere that he was being recasted. I might be wrong. I might be thinking of something else.
No, I think you're thinking of The Witcher.
Oh no, I knew about that. I knew he was recast. And I believe, if I understood, the reason Steve Carell. No, wait, Steve Carell. Is that his? No.
Steve Carell as The Witcher would
Steve
be
Carell.
hilarious.
I kind of want to
Oh my
see
God!
that now.
Can we please get that? Just just a one episode.
You remember that spoof kung fu movie he was in? Yes, that's exactly what I'm picturing now.
Henry Cavill. Jesus Christ, Steve Carell. Now I want to see Steve Carell as The Witcher now. Damn it. We need to make this a thing.
I was thinking more along the lines of like a one-off that they did for Doctor Who with Rowan Atkinson as the
The
Doctor.
Curse of Fatal Death.
Like that type of thing, yeah.
Oh, there's a YouTube channel. I can't remember the name of it. It's a bunch of British guys and girls, and they parody different video games. So they did one on The Witcher, and it was so freaking hilarious. And it was so over the top and silly, and just making fun of like the NPCs on it and everything. It was a lot of fun.
Probably
Viva La Dirt League. Yes, it was them. Yes. Oh God, they're brilliant. I love them. Some of the best comedians on YouTube. Jesus, Steve Carell. Oh no.
Like I said,
Terrifying.
I think that would be a great little, great little thing for him.
I can't even picture it. I need to, I need to be a thing before I can picture it.
But yeah,
But
I think that some of the there's Star Wars stuff, of course. Then you've got like actually coming up before too terribly long. I think we have What If season 2. We have Loki season 2. We've got Secret Wars. They're doing a lot of stuff. Like Kevin Feige is not backing down as far as Marvel, which is good.
yeah.
Like I know a lot of people were not terribly happy with the Phase 4 stuff. I know a lot of people that were just like, "Oh, the Phase 4 sucks." And it's like, well, but it's you have to look at Phase 4 as kind of like, Phase 4 is kind of like Phase 1. You have to introduce all of these characters. There's a lot of stuff that you have whole new characters and stuff like that you really have to introduce. I hope they don't do what some people are suggesting that they might do, or that they're saying that they should do. Is I've seen a lot of people supposedly say that, oh well, they should with Secret Wars and stuff like this, with the multiverse, they should recast and bring back in like Iron Man and Black Panther and stuff like that. It's like, no, let's move on from those things.
Yeah. I did hear somewhere that Christopher Judge, who was best known as Teal'c on Stargate Atlantis, I believe it was, and he's also the voice of Kratos in the two recent God of Wars. that he is going to be replacing what's his name? The actor who played the Black Panther. That he's going to be the replacement Black Panther.
Really?
Yeah, I did hear that. And whether that's true or not, I don't know. But I know that he was offered that role at least, and that potential that he will be a part of that.
I don't know. I don't see. That's one of those. That's one of those roles that I don't think they should just recast anytime soon. Because it's like the actor that Chadwick Boseman was great in the role. He was absolutely wonderful in the role. And I don't
he was.
And just recasting them would, I don't know. It just feels like it would be too it would still really be too soon to just be like, oh no, we're just gonna recast him and have somebody else be the Black Panther. It's like, they just introduced the idea of Shuri being the new Black Panther. It's like, okay, let's give her a chance to actually do something with the role before we recast to a male Black Panther.
Yeah. I do agree. I feel like they should leave the role alone and not just recast it right away. I do have to agree with you.
Now they made with the whole multiverse saga going on right, that they're getting into. I could see them saying, "Oh, well, this is another part of the multiverse. This is their Black Panther, and he's going to come in for when a bunch of them get together and stuff like that, and you have multiverse crossovers and everything." I could see them doing that, saying, "Okay, that's how we're going to bring in a different person for that role."
Yeah.
But it's not a permanent, casting change or anything like that. It's literally just a one-time thing.
Yeah. So, is there anything else, anybody? Because I know we talked to, I think, we haven't, not everybody's answered this. What is everybody else looking forward to this year, like coming out or? Okay, good talk. Jesus.
Well, give him time to think.
My answer is just avoid a blank silence.
I was gonna say, knowing some of the stuff that's going on, I'm not entirely sure that some people are going to necessarily have anything that they're really looking forward to. More like things that they're dreading for this year.
Oh, yeah, I can definitely agree with that one.
Yes. Yeah. I suppose the only, and I brought this up before, I suppose the only two video games I'm most looking for, well, actually, I should say three, are the Dead Space remake, which comes out, I believe, at the end of this month, and the Harry Potter Hogwarts Legacy that comes out February 7th. And in April, the upcoming Star Trek Resurgence, which I've shown you guys in the past trailers of it and everything like that. It had a sound-alike for Spock that everybody thought was like spot on, and it's made by former Telltale Games employees. So it's very much a adventure story-driven game, but with action elements, and it's open world in the sense that you have complete free reign of your starship that you serve on. So you're able to go into the holodeck, you're able to do all that kind of stuff, as well as take out shuttles. So those are the three that I'm looking forward to, and everything else has just been like, hit or miss. But there hasn't been a really good Star Trek game in a very long time, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Star Trek Online aside, because I don't really consider that. I'm not a big fan of Star Trek Online. I'm sure it's great, but it's not for me. The last good Star Trek game I ever played was Star Trek The Next Generation of Final Unity, which was a point-and-click adventure game which had the entire cast from The Next Generation, and that was really one of the best ones. And then there was, of course, 25th Anniversary and Judgment Rights. But
That was
aside from
TOS, right?
Sorry?
That was the original series, right? 25th Anniversary?
25th Anniversary and Judgment Rights were the original series. They were the ones made by Interplay. I believe Ollamh streamed them at some point, maybe.
I
I still have my...
Yeah. I did did videos of them, but yeah.
I still have my copies, but I'm sure they don't work. They're 3.5-inch floppies.
Oh no, I have the CD versions, which have like the full voice acting from the whole cast. They still hold up to today. They still hold up today, and you can actually, Rascalin, you can actually find them the CD versions on GOG for dirt cheap. I think you'll pay like at the most $2.
So voice acting and all?
Yes, by the whole cast, even DeForest Kelly. Yes, because it was made.
God, that was 1991. Yeah.
Yeah, no, they have the whole cast. Everybody's in it. James Doohan, DeForest Kelly, everyone's in it. Like literally everyone, right down to the voice actor who played Trelane. Like it's nuts. It was such an amazing. Well, voice acting wise, it was amazing.
I always liked how it was written and how it was developed was the right way to do it, because it wasn't just, oh hey, here's these random stories. It's no, here is, it was supposed to be a 5-year mission. They had 3 years on TV. These are the last 2 years of the first 5-year mission.
Yep. And the other thing that didn't hurt them at all was the fact that they actually were smart, because they didn't conquer the script themselves. They hired actual writers. They hired DC Fontana, who was the female writer of the original Star Trek series.
Yeah,
she was one of the original writers.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean as far as the idea behind it. It's not just, oh hey, we just want you to write more stories. It's like, no, we want you to pitch us and write us the stories that would have been the last 2 seasons of the original run.
Yeah, it's amazing. Like it's so good. And I actually miss Interplay as a company, because I felt like, aside from Sierra and LucasArts, they really had some amazing content back then. They really had some great games.
They gave us the original Fallout, didn't they?
Yeah, they gave us Fallout 1 and 2.
1 and 2, yes. They also gave me one of my favorite RPGs back then, Stonekeep. They also did another. It was like a shooter / adventure / RPG, Realms of the Haunting, which was actually really, really freaking good. Aside from being ridiculously Skyrim-esque long, it's such a long game. Just when you think it ends, you're only at the halfway point of the game.
I will say, I'm hoping, I'm not, I'm not holding my breath on it, but I would like to see Baldur's Gate 3 actually fully done this year.
Yes.
I mean, they've done, they've got it, in alpha and kind of releasing it little bits at a time and stuff like that, which is, it's okay.
Yeah.
It's like, but just, I want to see what the finished product is going to be. It's like, I don't want to get into it and be like, oh, so I can go this far, and oh, nope, now they've updated it, so I can go a little bit further. It's like, I always hate when games do that. I really hate when games do that. Because it's like, when they're finally done with the game and they're like, yes, this is the full release, it's like, okay, I've already played 95% of it because you've been, because of the way you've been releasing the alphas, so I get to play the last 5% of the game and find out what the actual ending is, but it's like, but it doesn't have the same impact as playing fresh, not knowing what the hell anything is from start to finish.
Yeah.
And that's
now the other.
I was gonna say that seems to be the way that a lot of game companies are going these days. It's like, oh hey, we're gonna release it a little bit at a time. So here, have a little taste of it. Have a little bit bigger of a taste. It's like, but why? Just hold off and surprise us, shock us, give us, give us something that's really got some oomph to it.
Yeah. No, it's true. I'm trying to think what I was going to say. I don't remember what I was going to say now. Oh well. Probably wasn't that important then. But yeah, no, I am definitely looking forward to Hogwarts because I mean, like, I grew up playing the classic Harry Potter games. I don't know if any of you guys did. I'm assuming some of you played them on the PS2 or the whatever they were on. I think they were also on PC. But they were really good. So it's nice to be able to not only get a more modern take, but also experience a Hogwarts that's set 100 years before the events of the books and the movies.
Something that isn't revolving around Harry and his jackhole friends.
Yes. No. You're creating your own character. You apparently, from what I've seen of the gameplay, when you start a new, so it takes place before you even get to Hogwarts. It takes place in your own town and everything. That you have to take the Hogwarts Express train, something that was never done in any of the original games. You just automatically were at Hogwarts. But this one, you have to do the whole process. Getting your supplies at Diagon Alley, all of that is in the game. But you're creating your own character as well. So it has a diverse character creation system. So you're not playing as a specific character, you're playing as your own character.
Yeah.
Which is nice.
That's the thing I always kind of didn't like about the movie tie-in games was the oh hey, well, it's everything centers around the main trio and that's it. That's all you get, and it's like, but the fact that they followed the movies, which were never really accurate to the books, and they, the further along they got, the more they just kind of like, we're just gonna kind of gloss over this. We don't need to worry about that. And, oh, what was the big deal about that? It's like, no, there was important stuff that was in these scenes.
I almost wonder if initially the plan was to make it a Harry Potter game, specifically with the entire characters. And then once J.K. Rowling did what she did, they went back to the drawing board and said, maybe we're still going to make it a Harry Potter game, but we're not going to make it as big of a Harry Potter game with the cast or the characters. Because I know that after J.K. Rowling's trans and homophobic rants that she did on Twitter, and everybody started hating on her, the game company themselves had to step in and say, because a lot of people wanted to boycott this game, and the game company had to step in and say, look, she's not involved in our game. This is our own game set in the Harry Potter universe. The most she's involved in is that she's going to get, some of the money because we're using Hogwarts. But all of the teachers and all of the characters that we're introducing you to are our own creations.
Yeah, I don't think that's gonna be enough. I don't see that being as much of a saving grace as they would like it to be, honestly.
No, there is a lot of people. There is a lot of people who are are still boycotting the game. I think it's foolish. I'm not going to. Okay, a lot of people are saying, and this is stupid. This is a political stance that doesn't need to be. Is a lot of people are saying, well, if you buy this game, then that just proves that you're transphobic. It's like, okay, no, that's not what that means. That just means I'm buying a game that I want to play. Don't bring your politics into this. This is me wanting to play a game that I want to play, and I'm going to play it. It doesn't mean I'm transphobic. It doesn't mean I'm against gays, lesbians, or anything. It doesn't mean anything. It just means I want to play a fucking game.
Well,
I don't know. Like,
the point that they're trying to make is the point that the game studio can't deny. It's by buying this game, she is getting money from this. She's gonna get a nice fat paycheck from this, from royalties, because it's her IP.
Yeah, I get that, but I'm not going to not purchase a game that I know I'm going to love and enjoy for the sake of that. I certainly don't agree with anything she said. I think she's an idiot, and I've always felt she was an idiot, but I mean, still a game I want to.
I agree. Forcing, saying, oh well, if you buy this game, you're supporting her, and you must like what she's. That's taking things a few steps too far. Yeah. But I can understand people saying, no, I don't want her to get any part of my money.
I mean, we're all entitled to our opinion, right? And a lot of people feel that way, yeah. And I can respect that. I mean, like, if you don't want her to get your money, then obviously don't get the game. But it's not going to affect my purchasing decision at the end of the day. Yeah. I do think she's a pile of trash. Because anybody who in this day and age still thinks like that has problems, in my opinion. Because that's not, we're in a world where we shouldn't be thinking so close-minded.
Yeah, that's a whole
no, yeah.
that I think we should just avoid from here on out, because it's like, yeah. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of games coming out that's like, oh, hey, that sounds interesting. That sounds fun. Yeah, there's. I mean, I don't know. Is it this year or is it next year that Fallout Metro is? Is it Fallout Metro or the London-based Fallout game?
A friend was telling me about this, actually. I think it's this year, actually.
Okay. I wasn't sure, because it was one of those. It's one of those things that it's like, yeah, I know. There's a fair number of people that are like, oh no, this is just going to be horrible because it's not.
Yeah.
It's not. They're not going to have they shouldn't have anything involving like Vault Tech or anything like that, really. I mean, those can be mentioned, but
yeah,
Vault Tech was an American company, not a worldwide enterprise. So
I found it funny. One of my friends who actually is a subscriber on your channel, Mac. He's been on your channel a few times. He had the name Red Cocktober or whatever the hell it was last time.
Yeah.
But he was saying, said to me, he goes, I feel so sorry for my wallet this year because it's going to be crying for the next couple of months with all these games coming out, because there's so many good games coming out this year, and he's just like, oh my god, so many games. He's gotta set aside the money to get them.
Yeah. That's one of those that's one of those tricky things that's just it's
for sure.
I saved a good deal of money during the pandemic myself, so
smart.
Yeah, but it just didn't really put it into anything, and I look at what's coming out, and it's like some of the best items, bizarrely enough, are free or are extremely good when they're in their testing phase that you don't have to pay for, and this can just go downhill as they're about to go live.
Yeah. I do recommend, because you said you played the original, you have the original 25th anniversary and Judgment Rights on disc. I do recommend you check them out on GOG, because they're obviously, as with every GOG game, they're made to run on modern OSs, and they're great fun to play on the CD versions, because just the voice acting of the entire cast, and Shatner, despite talking like every single word is its own sentence, and 90% of the time you'll be done reading the subtitles while he's still like 3 subtitles behind you. But I mean, aside from that, it is actually quite fun.
That's how I'm playing 14 right now when there's voice acting in a cutscene, so I'm used to this.
I just found it funny. Like, there's like a whole rant in like Judgment Rights where he's talking about a supercomputer or something like that, and the text can't keep up with how slow he's talking. The text is like 3 scenes ahead of him, and he's still on the 3 previous scenes. I always found that so funny. And there's also mistakes in the game. There's like a blooper in the game in Judgment Rights where they just kept it in, and it was like a scene with DeForest Kelly, and he screws up his line, and so it brings up the subtitle, and you hear DeForest Kelly just going, "Well, Captain, we must." That's literally what he says, and I'm like, "Wait, what? What just happened?"
I love this accidental Easter egg already. You said DeForest Kelly, so McCoy, right?
Yes, McCoy, yes. He like totally screwed up his line, and they didn't. I'm almost thinking that what happened was they put in the wrong take, but it's just so funny because you're reading the subtitles, you know what he's supposed to say, but he doesn't say anything. He just mumbles incoherently.
Look, if he wants to say that, that's what he says.
He got into the Romulan ale again. God damn it.
Look, they call him Bones for a reason.
Yeah.
Going to find out why Romulan ale is illegal? No idea.
It's extreme. It's supposed to be extremely potent.
Yeah, it's basically only Romulans can handle it.
Yeah.
I wonder what would be the real world equivalent to Romulan ale. Would it be absinthe?
Mixing Everclear with pure absinthe.
Yeah.
It's just like mixing every drink on the known solar system.
I was gonna say, actually, How to Drink kind of did an episode on Romulan ale. It's like, okay, obviously we can't make something actually equivalent to in canon, in universe stuff, because yeah, they serve them in these like small little very small little like ultra small wine glasses type thing, and it's like it's sipped over the course of the meal, and by the end of it, Kirk, the Klingons, the whole 9 yards are like fucking drunk, and it's like, yeah, that was a bad idea.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like, it's like, no, you can't. There is no. It really is no real world equivalent to it. It's just, yeah. Other than, I think like a glass of Everclear would probably be about as close as you could get. Because even adding pure absinthe would actually water down the Everclear.
Yeah, but you're not adding the absinthe for the alcohol. You're adding it for the wormwood.
But see, that's the thing. It's supposed to be so alcoholic that that a small glass will get a Klingon drunk. That has gotta be like super high proof.
Wasn't there one of the original movies with Shatner where he got a gift of Romulan ale for Bones for his birthday and reading glasses? I seem to recall that was a thing.
That would have been number 2.
Was it number 2?
He sold the glasses in 4.
Yeah.
And then said, "That's the beauty of it. I'll be getting them again."
Right. Yes.
Yeah, because he was when he was talking with Khan, he's like, okay, just a moment, and he had to put on the glasses to read the prefix code to make sure that they had the right prefix code and everything. It's like, okay, yep, and then he like whips him off and hides him behind his back, like, yep, okay, everything's fine.
My senior moment. It's funny.
Well, when facing somebody like Khan, you don't want to any sign of weakness he is going to jump on. This was, this was somebody whose superiority is based around the fact that he was genetically engineered to be perfect.
Is Ricardo Montalban still alive? Actually,
no, he died a few years ago.
Okay,
Or
that's what I thought.
Ricardo finally died.
It was a little bit after he made the last of the Spy Kids films.
Yeah. And there was a gag around the time where everyone was hoping that his coffin was lined with fine Corinthian leather.
That's funny.
I think he might have actually appreciated it. So,
Oh yeah.
I mean, he was doing children's movies towards the end of his life.
He also
yeah.
incorporate that into Spy Kids, so come on now.
Yeah, he fully embraced the trope.
I feel like he enjoyed Star Trek as well. Like I've seen like behind the scenes photos, and he seemed to always be smiling on the sets of Star Trek. He's always a great big smile on his face. So I seem to think he really enjoyed being on those series.
See, that was the thing that always annoyed me with the second of the newest Star Trek ones, when they basically when they remade Space Seed, was the whole "my name is Khan," and it's like, that means nothing to these people. They've never met you before.
Wait, you're talking about the J.J. Abrams version?
Oh,
I've never seen that one yet. I've never seen that movie.
It was like, oh yeah, he made this announcement that, like it should strike fear into the hearts of everybody. And it's like, they don't know you. You know that you have been out of the public eye for all this time. And it's like, it was just there to be an ooh ah moment for the audience, and it's like, it made no sense in the context of the actual movie.
So what was his? So was he supposed to be Khan himself, or
Yes,
was he supposed to be like a descendant of
No,
Khan?
he was Khan.
Oh.
They were that whole "it's the alternate timeline," so he doesn't look like Khan.
And that's the thing that got me. It's like, everybody was, so many people, even to this day, are like, oh, so they remade Wrath of Khan. It's like, no, they remade Space Seed. Because Khan doesn't die at the end of this one. He's sent, everybody's put back in these stasis pods and sent out. It's like, that was Space Seed. That wasn't Wrath of Khan. That was the original series episode that introduced Khan. That's...
But the yell. Freaking the yell.
Wait, did he do the whole yell?
It's not Kirk who does it this time.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the J.J. Abrams Star Trek was just, it was such a mess. Like the last one that they did, Star Trek Beyond.
I like that one, actually.
The only reason that movie was allowed to happen was because Kirk was an absolute shit diplomat. He was literally supposed to give the big MacGuffin to these this vicious species of small little vicious creatures. He was supposed to give it to them because he failed. That was why the movie was even able to happen. It was Kirk being a complete and utter dumbass that pushed everything into possibility. It's like it was just.
What's funny though, and it's a Kirk who is more likable, but just as dumb as Shatner at times. That said, I don't see why they used the same Beastie Boys movie they did, or song they did in the first movie.
Well, I mean, come on now. There was no other choice for what they were doing. There was no other choice than sabotage. Come on.
I get that, but you know me, I'm an industrial DJ. If that woman wanted beats and shouting, I can give her a ton of songs.
Yes,
half of which are going to be Skinny Puppy, but still.
A, Beastie Boys was already established as Kirk's favorites.
True.
And
especially
B,
that
if
song,
you're going
you're right.
to, and B, you are literally sabotaging the enemy. What other song are you going to use other than Sabotage?
I get that, but
It's a bit too on the nose.
I just a different Beastie Boys song, or even some other song about sabotage, or I don't know, a song by Thievery Corporation.
You're not going to have anything.
Although that would not have had the beat.
You're not going to have anything other than Beastie Boys. That was Kirk's favorite band.
Please tell me that in the J.J. Abrams universe they pronounce it sabotage. We gotta keep in line with Shatner's way of saying sabotage.
Say the name. It's always referred to as the beats and the shouting.
Yep.
And classical music.
I never. That's the one thing I didn't understand about Shatner, is he would say things like in interviews, he'd be like, "Oh, that's how Canadians say sabotage." I'm like, no, we don't. That's how you say sabotage. Sabotage.
But he is the Canadian. He's not a Canadian. He's the Canadian.
Yeah, the Canadian. Thank God he's not teaching the grammar. Otherwise, God.
I mean, some of us say words weirdly because we read them rather than heard them first. I still drain my pasta in the colander. I will die on that hill. But I get. Go ahead.
Well, that's like, I mean, it's one of those things where it's like no country, not everybody in a country is going to pronounce things a certain way. We sure as hell don't do that here in the U.S. We've got people down south that pronounce things just...
Yeah.
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 It's like a whole other country.
I've been to places where they have Crystal instead of White Castle. Yes, you're correct.
No, I mean, literally, same word pronounced completely fucking different.
I know. I'm just saying that in that region where they do replace Crystal or White Castle with Crystal, yes, absolutely, all language changes at that point. Mason-Dixon line is not an accurate geographical estimate.
I mean, interestingly enough, apparently that's why people from the Midwest, well, I when I say Midwest, I mean, you know, the Illinois, Indiana region of the Midwest, not the Minnesota Midwest that is in and of itself interesting. But that's actually why a lot of sought after voice actors are from this region, is because we have such a mild and almost non-existent accent. Yeah, accent that, you know, it's everybody understands it. It's not something that is wholly unique to a specific region. So, you know, people from around here can get away with playing somebody who lives in California or New York or any of these places. I never thought we had an accent, but it's like, yeah, you guys have an accent. It's like a neutral accent. It's like,
point. You go a little south of here to my hometown, and you will start hearing the country accent. Like, I'm sure you hear it slightly in my voice, but where I'm from, it can get pronounced. And that's literally less than 50 miles from here.
I do find it, going back to accents though, I do find it funny how, so in the original series when Kirk would say that, you know, sabotage, but I felt like it was forced in the Star Trek 25th anniversary and Judgment Rights games, because they had him say sabotage, technically he said it sabotage, like so many times in those games. And I feel like it was just the developers just poking fun of him for how he pronounced the word at that point, because it was like almost every scene had a line where he said sabotage, and I'm like, oh, okay, like we get it. He says it weird. We don't need to have it in every goddamn scene in the game.
Well, I mean, for one of the games, that was, you know, that was the you know, there were a lot of situations that, yeah, well, it was all down to sabotage.
Yeah. Well, the beginning of the second game, you have a line where you can, because in those games you picked what Kirk could say.
Yeah.
And one of the lines was Spock, sabotage the system, and it was like, yeah, and it was. At first, when I first played it, I'm like, oh, I wonder if he's gonna say sabotage, and then of course he didn't. I was disappointed.
What did you expect?
Well,
it's Shatner.
Sound Canadian and not sound Shatner for one.
Well, it's Shatner. What do you expect? You know, it's like that would be like having Ronald Reagan, you know, before he died, doing a voice acting, and have him try and say nuclear. It's not gonna happen. He always said nuclear.
Yeah, and then there's Bush. Bush always said nuclear. Yeah.
To be fair, he was probably parroting Reagan.
I was gonna say, yeah, it's. I mean, Reagan really kind of affected the way a lot of people say certain words.
It was president throughout most of the 80s. That's going to get people. Well, you see, the best music comes out when life sucks, so that's why so much good music came out then.
That is an interesting way of putting it. Yes. I can't fault you there.
I think the only interesting music I liked from the 80s was all the wave synth that was so popular back then. It was really cool. Just
you mean new wave synth, or?
Well, yeah, you know what I mean, like the how do I describe it? Like as an example, the Knight Rider theme was kind of very wave synth, very electric.
It had that going, yeah. Yeah,
that was the kind of music I really enjoyed in the 80s. Miami Vice was another one that did that.
I sometimes used to like mostly hair metal, but over time I just got myself getting more into the new wave. I lived through the 80s, and now I kind of missed that I didn't get to truly experience it.
Yeah, it's very true.
Would I have enjoyed it? Who knows?
Yeah.
I don't know. I enjoyed most of the 80s music. A lot of, well, at least a lot of the 80s music. I'll say that much. I enjoyed a lot of the 80s music.
Okay. Absolutely love the music. That's why I had a night of my show that was nothing but a combination of 80s and fake 80s, or as they tend to call it nowadays, retro wave. So yeah, 80s music is still being made. So we can always take that to heart.
I don't know how I don't know how good that is for some of us here.
It's actually, some of it is really good. Mirko Hirsch is someone I suggest listening to, who is putting out, good 80s music still.
Yeah.
I was gonna say,
He would probably be,
you know my feelings. I'm good with it. It's just, from the sounds of some of the other people here,
I'm not fussy when it comes to music. I kind of listen to everything except country. I've never been a big fan of country. But aside from that, everything else is fair game.
I used to feel the same way. It's like these days it's like, I mean, honestly, there's some country isn't bad.
Like, I suppose
the
it
older
depends what
stuff.
it is.
I can get behind the older stuff, but some of the later, where it just becomes sort of top 40, is just,
Yeah, I mean, there was definitely a point where it was, yeah, you were, country seemed to be more in line with, have more in common with like pop music and rock and roll of the time. Kind of like oh god, I'm trying to think of names now, and they are that my brain is failing me. Yeah, I can't think of any of the names now. I will say this though. It is interesting to hear. Tim McGraw. A lot of Tim McGraw stuff kind of like wasn't just like, oh hey, it's country. It's like, well, yeah, it's country, but it's not just country. And it's really become clear with some of the more modern hip hop artists that, we're listening to like Outkast and stuff like that back in the day, but then we're also listening to Tim McGraw and kind of like merge the two. It's that type of thing that it's just like, okay, so yeah, this is weird and unexpected.
it can go either very well, because sometimes music genres blend better together than we might think, or we can wind up with another Kid Rock.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, I could see that, but it's like, I mean, at least the people that are kind of like, okay, yeah, it's kind of that mix. The modern day mixes seem to be, they recognize something in the music and something in the specific songs and took that, rather than saying, oh hey, I'm this rich white kid that was born in a good-sized house. I'm going to pretend to be working class so people will buy my shit.
You just described politics.
Well, I also described Kid Rock.
True.
That's literally what he does. He is not working class. He was raised in a fairly wealthy family. he just pretends to be working class, so people will buy his shit and buy him being just like them, when it's like, no, he's very much not. That's one of the things that's always irritated me about him. It's just like, you know, he always pretends to be, oh yeah, I'm just this working class guy like you guys. Like, no, you're not. You were born into a pretty extreme privilege, really.
I admittedly don't know much about him. I just know his music sucks.
Like I said, that's kind of the reason why his music sucks. It's not about the music, it's about portraying something that he isn't. He doesn't identify with the music. He just does it to try and get people on his side.
So it's fake angst,
Yeah.
country style.
Yep.
I'm suddenly reminded of when goth and country merged, and this has happened repeatedly. I don't just mean Johnny Cash. I know that's the easy answer, but there have been other times.
I mean, there isn't any reason.
Such as the...
There isn't
Go ahead.
any reason why they couldn't mix.
Right.
It's just, like I said, it's a matter of you have to understand what the music is about, and stuff like that before you try and say, oh well, I'm going to take this and put them together. It's like you have to understand the backgrounds and the music themselves. God, I'm trying to remember what the hang on a minute here. Let me do a quick search. Oh God, what is it? Let me try here. This should get me. There's one artist that actually isn't. It's actually at least has a few decent songs.
In the cross-genre area, or...
Yeah.
See, I was just going to usually suggest people take a look at Spirit Creek. Or Tombstone.
Oh, it's Blanco Brown. Blanco Brown is the artist's name. He's the one that brings that kind of blends in country with hip hop.
But not in the way that... Okay. I will have to take a look at that, and I am hoping it is much better than the other self-proclaimed example of mixing Southern rock and hip-hop.
It's the basically the story is his background as far as the music goes is he grew up I think in Georgia, listening to like Outkast, a lot of the big hip hop groups of his childhood. But his grandmother was very much into Tim McGraw.
Okay.
And so whenever he went over to her house, he would hear Tim McGraw's music, and really kind of sat down and actually listened to the songs and stuff like that, and really kind of got an understanding of that genre, and then said, okay, so what happens if we take that and mix it with this? And like I said, it's an understanding of an understanding of each genre and what makes it work, basically. As opposed to just saying, oh, hey, I want to take this and that and just mash them together and... Yeah, just not really understanding anything. Just I just want to merge the two and try and create a whole new type of music without actually understanding the theory, the musical theory behind those genres.
Yeah. I don't know. I grew up with Baroque music, so becoming a goth DJ was bound to happen.
See, I've listened to a little bit of everything. About the only thing that I really cannot stand is opera. That's about the only thing that for me that's just like, just no. Even then,
like
it's like
individual songs you don't like, or you don't like a whole giant performance where it's just long and drawn out.
I don't know. There are a few opera type songs that it's like, okay, I can get behind that, but most of it is just like, I don't know specifically what it is. It's just not for me.
I mean, that's fair. If someone asks me what genre I absolutely cannot stand, it would be American dubstep. I have to pre-qualify it with American dubstep, though. Because I've heard European dubstep, and while I'm not a huge fan, I'm like, okay, whatever. But then, go ahead.
So by American dubstep, are you referring to people like Skrillex and stuff like that?
Pretty much. Anything where it's that aggressive, one-trick pony bass dropping over and over again. It's like, yes, that's great. Yes, I'm guessing you're high on Molly or something. I don't care. I want some actual music.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the big thing is the stuff that's just like they all use the exact same technique and the exact same tricks. And it's like, yep, okay, you're just there's nothing original here. There's nothing unique to it at all.
It's the electronica equivalent of someone found the Onyxia soundboard. I get that was an extremely niche joke, but the 1 or 3 people out there who got it are probably laughing their asses off.
I heard it. I heard somebody try and explain why dubstep was so great one time. That just, I don't know, completely baffled me as to what. As to why anybody would listen to it. It's like, no, you just you randomly pick a bunch of stuff, take random samples from stuff, and just put it together. And it's like, that's...
Someone once... Alright, the problem is, you might have been talking to someone while they were sober. That's the kicker. Whenever I joked that someone had to be high on Molly to enjoy the stuff, I wasn't joking. Apparently, if you are on ecstasy, this stuff has a special quality to it, the bass levels, that produces a sensation. I don't know, kind of like the Sim-Sense drug in the Dune novels.
You're reminding me of the Henry Rollins joke of which came first, the shitty music or the drugs.
That is an excellent question.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it's like, that's...
he goes on. He's like, did a bunch of people just get into a warehouse and they've had a bunch of mescaline and whatever else they happen to have left over and dropped it, and they're like, now make some music? Or did they have the drugs first and they were listening to some music and they were like, oh man, this is shit, we need something on it, and they took all these drugs and they're like, holy shit, that's great.
And what they do, reproduce the music as they thought they remembered it?
Yeah, pretty much.
See, if that's what, stuff like, what would someone on ketamine start making? Because I've unfortunately met a few people on Special K, and I'm like,
Ketamine.
oh wow, get the hell away from me. Unfortunately, I dated one of them. It was pretty bad.
All right. I need to take a real quick break, so I'll be right back.
Hey. Okay, I partially was joking on that one. I dated someone who was medicated with Special K by a doctor. And for anyone who wants to know, yes, that sometimes actually happens.
Oh yeah, it does.
Particular versions of bipolar disorder. If
Sometimes
you did get the ketamine...
Ketamine.
What?
And sometimes they don't even tell you it's ketamine. They give you all the other names, and you're like, what is this, though?
Oh, you mean like when they give you opiates?
Yeah.
But, yeah, she was up for 40 hours at a time without the stuff.
I don't know if anybody here has ever seen Repo, the Genetic Opera. I can never remember.
Yes, of course. It's an excellent movie.
Yeah.
I've not seen it, but I've had it quoted to me so damn many times.
I got the urge, like every good scalpel slut does, where I was like, Zydrate sounds fucking amazing. I wonder if there's a real-world equivalent. Just so happens, grandfather had a giant encyclopedia of drugs. There's not only a real equivalent, there's actually a drug called Zydratin. It's just Vicodin.
As a person who was given Vicodin by his doctor and found out that it did not affect him,
Yeah, I know. I was sitting there trying to think of, like, I had a Vicodin equivalent in one of my surgeries. I don't remember it inspiring me to get horny and grind on a door.
That's probably a good thing.
The last time I was in the hospital for kidney stones, I was in so much pain, they gave me something, injected it. It was some opiate. And I kept asking, when is it going to work? And it's like, what do you mean it's not working yet? No. Soon after that, I found out that a lot of Americans don't know until they find out the hard way that they are immune to opiates.
Yeah. I don't
Just
even
more receptors in the brain.
Yeah, they told me the last time that they were giving me the last thing they could legally give me for pure opium. I was like, hey, that's great.
They looked at me and they said, that's not possible. And it's like, what are you talking about? Say the alphabet backwards, which I did, and it's like, what the hell?
Wait, what? How do you know how to say the alphabet backwards without having to think about it? Let's be honest. I can't even. At the time,
I had to think about it, but I was able to do it.
Yeah, and they really don't care if you can do it coherently, just as long as you can think about it and do it.
Reminds me of the episode of Reno 911 where they ask him to say the alphabet backwards, and he goes, Z, and they're like, no, you're under arrest. They don't even let him think about it. They're just like, no, you're going to jail.
be fair, depending on where they got it or where he was arrested.
Well, have you never heard of Reno 911?
I know Reno 911.
Okay.
I'm saying, depending on where he was arrested, it was just the fact that he said Zed.
That's God, I missed that show. They need to remake that show or bring it out again. That show was brilliant.
They need to remake a lot of shows, honestly.
Right? I know. We just I don't know. There's so many good shows from back then, and nowadays, just.
I'm going to say it right now, and someone's going to hit me for it. I want a remake, but I want a good remake, and I know how hard this would be to do, of F Troop.
What? F Troop? What's that? I've never heard of that.
F Troop is a show from about the same time period as Green Acres and the Beverly Hillbillies. It basically takes place shortly after the Civil War on a Western military base. It was hilarious. I loved it as a kid. I also loved Green Acres as a kid. But keep in mind, I also watched a lot of... It's a comedy. It's a sitcom.
Oh. Interesting.
And I had very skewed taste as a kid, so maybe this is all wrong. I was also watching things like Waiting for God and The Vicar of Dibley and Chef.
Ah, yes. The Vicar of Dibley is amazing. I have the entire series of The Vicar of Dibley and Chef. Oh, yes. Hell yes. Oh, my
There's
God.
nothing like your local county vicar getting on radio and says, this county needs a new golf course like the Pope needs contraceptives.
Yeah, no, it wasn't that. I just love the old guy. No. Yes. Fuck. You never knew if he was denying you or saying yes half the time, because half the time it was all over the place.
Dear gods, I think I just had a horrible flashback.
What? Okay.
To what?
To something that we generally try to avoid talking about here.
What?
I'm sure I'm not the only one. Caden probably had the same. No, somebody that me and Caden used to deal with used to use that all the fucking time.
I wasn't actually paying that much attention. What was the phrase in question?
The no, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, yes.
Yeah, no.
Oh, this guy didn't do it. No, yes, no. It was just always no, and then yes. But yeah, it was an old guy on British sitcom, the Vicar of Dibley, which actually is a really good sitcom. But yeah, Chef was really good too. I'm surprised that you watched. See, half the time I'll talk to people about those kind of shows and they don't even know what the hell I'm talking about. So it's interesting to meet somebody who actually knows what the hell they are.
I know a lot of people who actually did watch Chef, and I know many fewer people who remember when Lenny Henry, before he was on Chef, had his own variety show on the BBC.
Now it's interesting that you bring up Lenny Henry. It's interesting that you bring up the Vicar of Dibley with Chef, because you know that they're married, right?
I do know that nowadays, I admit I wasn't thinking about that when I said it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're married. The Vicar of Dibley actress, Dawn French, and Lenny Henry. Yeah, they've been married for quite a few years.
But with Lenny Henry's sketch show that he was doing, the thing that will always stand out to me is when he did a Doctor Who sketch, and the companion freaks out because he becomes the first black doctor.
I've never seen that. Oh god, now I kind of want to hunt that down.
Oh, it gets even better when they meet the Cybermen that episode.
I'm assuming it's for the London Red Nose Comedy Festival.
I thought it was on his actual sketch show. Am I misremembering, or?
I don't know. No, you're probably right. I didn't know he had a sketch show. I just knew him in Chef, and I never actually saw his sketch show.
Yeah, it was a few years before Chef.
Chef is
But not quite as early as a bit of Fry and Laurie.
Okay. Chef is a bit of an odd show because it was a comedy, but at the same time, there was a lot of drama in it, and especially in regards to him and his wife, and their constant bickering and fighting and everything that they did. So it was very odd choice of British comedy because, yes, it was funny, but at the same time, there was a lot of serious drama in the series.
Well, a lot of this, we do that with a lot of American ones. Look at Family Matters as an example, or Rock, ROC, if anyone remembers that one on Fox. That was eventually one of the few sitcoms to be live every week. Like, literally, they would perform live for the sitcom in front of a TV audience and the nation. But a lot of shows back then that were supposed to be sitcoms would sometimes edge too much towards the drama. May to December, and Waiting for God is one of my favorites, but I gotta admit, they sometimes went heavy drama.
Yeah, another one with Don French called Murder Most Horrid was it was a comedy, but it was also really dark as well. Like, I remember the one episode, so she plays basically, Don French in it basically plays like a demon from hell. And she's constantly trying to get people to kill certain people and stuff like that. So this one episode, she was trying to get this girl to kill her husband, to stab her husband to death. And it's so over the top. And I mean, there's one scene where she finally thinks that she's convinced the woman. So she sees, as she's leaving this woman's house, she sees blood splattering all over the window, and she goes, "Oh, fuck, she's finally done it." And she goes back inside, and the woman just cut her finger doing the dishes or something, and blood just happened to gush up on the window. She's like, "Oh, for fuck's sakes, she hasn't killed her husband yet." It's just such a weird show. I don't know. It was very weird.
I remember a lot of sitcoms in Britain, especially some of the ITV ones instead of BBC ones, suddenly almost changing their whole camera angle and everything, just as they're getting to a tense, dramatic scene, and what is normally a giant amount of uproarious laughter. I mean, the scenes from the Piglet Files come to mind.
Yeah. I think of some other British comedies that I watched back then.
Red Dwarf.
Red Dwarf. I only saw like for the last 10 years or so when a friend introduced me to it. I had never watched it, but it was definitely good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's one of those. That's one of them that was a very big part of my formative years.
Oh yeah.
Yes. I introduce people to that, and they go, "What the hell did you just give me?" Like I snuck some drug into their food, and it's like, I gave you British comedy. You're welcome.
Yeah. Father Ted was another one I watched, but that's not really British. I'd say that's more Irish comedy. The IT Crowd, obviously. The IT Crowd is brilliant.
Okay, maybe it was a bit before your time, and you didn't have reruns. But Are You Being Served?
Oh yeah, no, God,
I was
of
gonna
course.
say, I'm like, come on, somebody's got to. I knew that Rascalin had to know that.
Yes.
No, I had the entire box set of that. It was stolen from me, but I love Are You Being Served? Oh my God.
Do you know John
Freaking Mrs. Slocum and her cat.
Yes. But do you know John Inman came here to Champaign-Urbana?
I did not.
He actually did. I was watching from Mattoon at the time, because God's help me, I lived in the boonies, and I heard about this, and so I at least got to watch him, doing a pledge drive for WILL live.
Okay, that doesn't surprise me. That actually doesn't surprise me because PBS, the local PBS channel, they were the ones that were playing the old Doctor Who, the Are You Being Served, Red Dwarf.
It was because of them I got to see and be too scared to watch Tom Baker episodes in the early 80s. But, I came back around in the early 90s during the middle of their Troughton run.
I
that's of course circle. Go ahead.
I love the fact that their follow up to Are You Being Served, which was, if I remember right, over in the UK was called Will and Grace, and everybody on the cast was like, "No, the Americans had it right. It should be Are You Being Served Again."
Yeah,
Great. No, Will and Grace.
It wasn't Will and Grace. That's the CBS comedy, but it was Grace and something. I'm gonna look it up. Hang on.
Grace Under Fire. Grace.
No, Grace. That's a different sitcom. That's another U.S. one with Brett Butler.
I was gonna say Will and Grace is an American series. I'm confused by that.
It was.
Grace.
There we go. Yes.
That's what it was. I knew it was Grace and it was something in Grace, but yeah, okay. So yeah, it was Grace and Favor was what they called it over in the UK, but like here in the US, it was like no. They're like no. It's Are You Being Served Again? And everybody that was they interviewed when they were talking about that, like, no, the Americans had it right. It just, you have to continue on. Nobody knew what the other name was. They're like, what the hell is this? It's like yeah.
It would be like if when they brought back Doctor Who in 2005, they decided to put it under a different name, like actually calling it Torchwood, and no one would know what the hell was going on.
Yeah, I'll never forget this one episode of Are You Being Served where Miss Slocum goes to call her cat. And she misdials the number, doesn't realize it, and she's talking on the phone to her cat, and she's like, "Now open up your little flap and play with your balls." And then this guy answers and goes, "What?" And she's like, "Oh shit, I dialed the wrong number."
Wasn't her neighbor that?
Yeah, it was her neighbor. Yeah. Open up your flap and play with your balls. Oh shit.
That was a glorious show.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Apparently, you can get the complete series of Are You Being Served Again on 2 discs, DVD. I don't even know how many episodes it went.
Oh, it lasted a long time. It was like, I want to say 6 or 7.
The original was 12 years, but
yeah. Then there was the Are You Being Served movie, which was just weird to me. I thought it was a weird movie. It was good.
Didn't that happen during the series?
I think so. Yeah.
Because I think
wasn't as good. It wasn't as good as the series. Like it was just weird. It still had the humor, but it was not. I don't know. It's not the same. Because they didn't take place in the store. They went on a vacation somewhere, and
yeah,
it was weird.
Yeah,
I still need to watch it all the way through. Oh, then there's the Australian Are You Being Served, which still had John Inman.
Oh,
I'm not kidding. It even follows a lot of the same plots, line for line.
The BBC did that a lot at that time, because they would be like, okay, so this is popular in the UK, but it's not necessarily getting the attention abroad, so let's do this country's version of this, and we'll even bring over one of the characters from the original. They did that with Red Dwarf. They did that with Coupling. They did that with the IT Crowd. They did that with like so many different series and stuff that it was like, yeah, it was. They tried to do say okay, well this country's gonna get their own version of this, and it's like, but it never really took off because it was always lacking that really the humor that made it popular.
I remember seeing the American version of the IT Crowd. It was absolutely terrible. You can find like episodes of it on YouTube, and it's really bad. It lost
So
all
bad
its
they're
humor.
not trying to take down the episodes.
Well, no, it didn't last. I don't even think it lasted a full season.
Yeah, I don't think it did.
Right. I mean, like, so bad they're not going to try and take the episodes off YouTube is what I mean.
Oh yeah, nobody cares. Oh, 5 people probably watched it.
Yeah, because it was who was the guy? The guy that played he played Winger in Community. I can't remember the guy's name now.
Yeah, I don't know. All I know is it lost all its humor. It just wasn't. It's not the same. It's just weird.
Joel McHale. Joel McHale played the oh fuck, I can't remember the character's name now. But he basically he played the wannabe suave guy, the wannabe ladies man.
Oh,
the
Roy.
IT crowd. Yeah, Roy. Because Moss was played by the same actor. They brought Moss over from the UK to play.
Well, you couldn't get anybody to replace Richard Ayoade anyway.
Yeah.
He was a unique character.
But it's the thing is that Ross is supposed to be. No woman would want to date him. No woman would look at him and be like, "Oh yes, oh please, give me some of that." But you have Joel McHale, and it's like these two things do not work together. It's like this is a conventionally handsome man.
Yeah.
It's the same thing they did with Lister in the US version of Red Dwarf. They had like this guy with a chiseled jaw and just like muscles and stuff like this playing Lister, and it's like that's not Lister. Nobody is going to believe that that's fucking Lister.
Yeah.
He needs to be a complete and total Pratt.
I just
And
found
I don't mean Chris Pratt.
my favorite episode the basement's on fire and Moss is trying to call the fire department. He's like, 4, I mean 5, I mean fire. It's like, oh my god, you're such an idiot.
No, you are forgetting the best part of that scene, which was the fire extinguisher setting on fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Poof.
Yeah.
What?
Now, why has it done that?
Yeah, that is made in the UK. How that
It's like,
explains it.
Yeah. And then the 0118999. Jesus, the freaking they changed the number for the 911. The commercial where the woman's falling down the stairs.
It's 999.
911 is the Americans.
No. Hold on.
999 in Great Britain.
Yep.
Yeah, no. I know, but I'm saying they changed the number.
Yep.
The whole commercial
Yes,
was
they changed it from 999. You said 911. They made a point in the
Oh,
episode.
yes.
911
Yeah.
is American. It's 999.
0118999881999.
No, the emergency number in Britain is 999.
Yes, yes.
I know.
He's
I'm
trying to-
repeating.
They
I'm
changed
repeating the number they changed it to. They
Yes,
changed
but-
it to They changed it to 011899988199911197253.
You were blatantly ignoring my point. You were blatantly ignoring my point, though.
No, I agree that I said 911. I already said that. I know. I meant 999.
Yes,
What I'm
I
saying-
was quoting the episode.
Oh, okay.
Like,
fair enough. But I just love that commercial where the woman falls down the stairs and she's trying to remember this stupid number. And then they did the friend face ad making fun of Facebook, which was also pretty funny.
My favorite by far though for that one is is actually I think it was in the first episode when Jen gets put down there. It's like you'll make a mistake at some point, and she's talking about she's pretending to talk on the phone. We're here to hook up your phone.
Ow!
It's like, we're here to hook up your phone. Well, you'll make a mistake at some point. And Roy marches off, and Moss is just kind of like, wait a minute. Then sure enough, Ross comes back. Ha! It's like, there it is.
Let's not forget the entire finale where they had her where they gave her the internet.
Oh yeah, the shoebox, the black shoebox.
Oh God. The elders of the internet have heard of me.
Oh boy. The anti-piracy ad was also really funny. You wouldn't steal a policeman's helmet, then go to the toilet in the man's helmet, and then give it to the grieving widow, and then steal it back again. Like, what?
Speaking of grieving widows, let's not forget about Richmond. I don't know why he stuck me down here. He's changed.
Oh boy.
That is one of the few things that I kind of miss from that used to be on Netflix. I don't know if it still is or not.
I may or may not have every season saved somewhere.
I do too. Yeah.
That's
Of
not
course.
surprising.
Yeah, no, it's one of the best. One of the best sitcom. There's just so many memorable scenes. Like the one where they end up watching that. They end up going to the theater with Jen, and then Roy ends up in the handicap bathroom, and then Moss ends up shoved behind a bar. They think that he works there. It's so dumb. Roy only has 2 words that he ever says out of his mouth during the entire time. I'm disabled! Over and over. Because he just doesn't know what else to say.
I don't know if Kaden is talking to somebody in the background or trying to.
Oh no, I'm playing the Outer Worlds and laughing my ass off at dialogue again. Especially,
I was confused. I'm like, what was that noise?
No, now that I have IT crowd stuck in my head, because I'm talking to a vicar. He's like, "Would you like to know the quickest way out of town?" And all I heard was Moss, but I've got a flipping gun. I know the quickest way out of town. Just do I want to do a genocide run?
There's the episode with the bomb droid or whatever the hell it was, the bomb robot, and everybody's like,
okay.
like 20 feet away from the robot, and Moss is over there going like, Roy, look at this. It's like, oh my god.
Oh yeah,
we're gonna be okay. What operating system are you using? Windows Vista. We're gonna die.
Screwed.
The bet of you can't go an entire day without saying this.
I feel like that show could easily be remade today with the original cast. I think it would just still do well. Or not remade, but rebooted, I guess.
I don't know. I really don't know if they could redo that. Could reboot that one with.
Not really. It was very much a product of the times.
I guess. And did any of you ever watch Faulty Towers?
Yes.
Yeah.
That was another one that was actually pretty good.
Short, but good.
Yeah, it wasn't terribly long. It was based off of, so John Cleese said in interviews, so I bought the box set of Faulty Towers for my dad a couple years ago on Blu-ray. And one of the special features has John Cleese talking about it. And he said that Faulty Towers was based off of an actual hotel that the entire cast of Monty Python stayed in while they were filming the Flying Circus TV series. And this hotel manager of this hotel they stayed in was a complete asshole. Like he just treated everybody like shit. And so that was the premise of Faulty Towers, was he based it off of this actual hotel manager that they actually all got to meet firsthand.
Yeah, a lot of the best comedies are based
Inspired,
in some
yep.
form of reality. Yeah.
Oh, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. No, it was a good series. My dad introduced it to me way back when I was a little kid, and he had all the movies on VHS. And I don't know what happened to them, but something happened to them. So I remember the one year for Christmas, I ended up saying, you know what, I'm just gonna get him the updated Blu-ray box set. Because he probably doesn't even have the VHS tapes anymore. And he loved it. He was so excited to get that for for Christmas, not his birthday. I think I said his birthday. I meant Christmas. No, he was so excited to get that. And last year I ended up getting from them, ironically, the box set of Monty Python's Flying Circus on Blu-ray, and that looks beautiful on Blu-ray. They really touched that up really well. It looks stunning. The picture quality is amazing. Definitely a great box set.
That is one of the things that I've always kind of wondered. It's like, at what point are we going to say, look, we really can't up the quality of stuff anymore?
Yeah, well, I mean, what is the I can't remember, but what is the highest resolution a human eye can see anyway? Because I think we can't see past 4K. So what's with these 8K TVs all of a sudden? Like, I mean, I don't think there's a certain point that the human eye can't distinguish the quality anymore. So it's like, why are we? It's just at this point, it just feels like a marketing scheme more than anything else.
That's one of the things that's just I've always been kind of wondering ever since they've been like, oh no, we were okay, well, we've got 4K, we've got 8K. It's like, how far are you going to go before people are going to be like, okay, there's
or they just their eyes just start bleeding. You get this new TV, bring it home. 24K. Yes, great. My eyes burst out of my skull. Fantastic.
Oh, that's like when they started doing the HD DVDs and Blu-rays and stuff like that, and they didn't stop to think, oh, wait a second, so we're doing everything at 60 frames per second, and it erased any of the motion blur. So it's like, you could, if you looked carefully, like a speeding police car, you could read every word on the side of it. It's like, they're supposed to be going over 60 miles an hour. It's like, I should not be able to it's like that there was a period where it was like everything was super crisp, even if it was like supposed to be speeding past. It's like,
see, for me, 60 frames per second works for video games, and that's fine for video games. But for a movie or a TV show at 60 frames, it seems kind of silly.
But that's the thing, it's like they add the motion blur. They add a motion blur to it. So
yes.
But if you record something at a high enough frame rate and then you play it back at a certain frame rate,
Yeah, it gets
there's
rid
no
of it.
motion blur. There's no blur
Yeah.
whatsoever. It's like that is painfully
Surreal.
yeah.
Yeah. No, I agree. But I just found it funny when everybody's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get an 8K TV. I'm like, yeah, I'm good with my 4K TV. Don't need an 8K TV. I'm not gonna notice the difference between 4K and 8K. So why would I? It's the same shit.
Yeah, for me it's like, you know, it's once you get to a certain point, it's like, look, I'm sure it looks better if you're really paying, if you're paying close attention to every little detail, but it's like, I don't.
Yeah,
I'm not.
Who's sitting there playing a video game and looking at every pixel? Like, I don't know of anybody who does that.
Well, I actually do know a few channels that's kind of what they do is that, their breakdowns and stuff like that. And it's like, okay, for that I could see it.
Yeah.
But you're also pausing and stopping and or recording it and then playing it back and pausing it, and it's like in order to catch every little Easter egg and stuff like that. And it's like, all right, cool. That I can understand, but it's like for the average person, it's like it is so
average gamer, yeah. It is, yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. We can definitely distinguish, 4K from 1080p. There's a huge difference in quality leap. But after that, it just becomes silly at that point.
And I think it's, you can you notice a difference? Yes. But the big question for me is, it's like, does it add enough difference and stuff to it that it's really it's really worth it? And for me, it's like, for most of it, for me, it's like it's really not.
The biggest difference I notice going between 30 frames and 60 frames in games, and because, okay, so on PS5, all PS5 games come out with 3 options in the main menu of the settings. Fidelity mode, which runs the game at 4K 30 frames per second, where you have ray tracing mode, which runs the game at 60 frames per second, slightly less than 4K visual quality, but not by much. And that's the mode I always pick, because when you switch back and forth between 30 and 60 as you're playing a game, you notice the difference.
Yeah,
because it becomes really jerky and jaggy at 30 frames per second, and then my eyes start to hurt. And then I realize to myself, I can't believe a couple of years ago I would play games at this frames per second. I can't even do it anymore. I can't. I've tried. I just have to be.
But that's frames per second. That's not resolution.
Yeah. No, it's frames per second. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, but my point is, it's like the resolution, getting up to that high resolution. It's like, yeah, it looks better, but does it really add anything based on what you have to buy and set up in order to get that quality?
Yeah, no, it's a gimmick at that point.
The Red, when I was doing Red Dead Redemption 2, some people were like, oh, I've never seen this, I've never played this game before, or something like that, and it's like, wow, this game looks fucking amazing. And I'm like, this is like the lowest settings, just so that I can make sure that it's gonna stream properly without lagging my system. It's like, this is still like bottom tier resolution and options and stuff like that. It's like, it's it's like it could look better as far, and it's like, yeah, then for to a certain extent, it's like some of the ground textures and stuff like that, but it's like I said, it's like I didn't want to lag my system and have the stream just difficult to work with.
Exactly.
But yeah, it's like, it's, for the most part, it's like everybody's like, oh no, it looks fucking beautiful, it's great, it's wonderful. Oh, yeah. It's like, so is it really worth putting in like $1,000 to $2,000 for for a graphics card, and then another few $100s to make sure your motherboard can handle the graphics card and stuff like, is it really worth all that money in order to make sure that you can see it at its, at the top tier quality?
In my opinion, it all depends on the person at the end of the day. If the person wants to have the best quality for their stream or whatever, not even necessarily their stream, but for their game, then yes. But if it's to be the average gamer, no, because they're not going to care. They're not going to care. It's about the gameplay, the experience. It's not about, oh, does this pixel look blurry or does it look clear? Because the average gamer doesn't care about that. They don't even spend enough time to look at that.
But yeah, but my point is it's how much money are you putting into it in order to get that quality? It's like that's the thing that a lot of people just don't seem to really quite grasp. It's like it can cost you a lot of money to get that really super good quality. It's like, but is it really worth it?
I find that interesting that you say that your computer can't even handle Red Dead at its highest resolution.
It can handle it.
Oh, it can. Okay.
It can handle it. It just can't stream it at that. Because
now that would be a fault of YouTube, is it, or?
It's a matter of how much how much of your GPU power do you need in order to stream versus how much the game is using.
Gotcha.
So if the game is using like 3/4 of your GPU, but you need just a little over 1/4 of your GPU to stream, you're gonna run out of resources.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, I mean, for most of the stuff that I've seen as far as streaming is concerned, it's like you don't need anywhere near like the massive, oh hey, it has to be like, real quality and top tier stuff. It's like that's mostly unnecessary.
You correct me if I'm wrong. You've played the Oddworld games before, correct?
No.
Oh, I'm surprised. Okay, never mind. I thought you did for some reason.
Yeah, platformers. I'm always kind of about platformers.
Well, okay. So the Oddworld: Stranger's Wrath, which is a first-person open-world shooter, not a platformer, but it's set in the same universe. You play as a bounty hunter, an alien bounty hunter, that uses a gun which will literally suck up your bounties, and then you present.
Wait, you said Outworld?
No, Oddworld. Oddworld: Stranger's Wrath.
Yeah, never played that one. Nope.
I figure it would be a game that'd be right up your alley. It's think of it like Star Wars Bounty Hunter. It plays very similar to that. And like except your weapon will actually suck up the villain, and then you can take them into the town and deposit them into a jail and collect your bounty and stuff like that. It's a really interesting game, but it got a remaster and really they really fixed up all the graphics, and I'm actually surprised by how beautiful it looks now. Because I remember playing it back in the day on, I think it was my PS2, possibly. I think it was PS2, and just to see the improvement over the quality of the graphics now for the HD remaster, it literally is like night and day. It blows me away how nice it looks now. But it's definitely a game that I feel like you would get a kick out of, because it's set in like a Wild West setting. Well, it's like an alternate reality Wild West. It's very steampunkish Wild West.
Okay.
So it's really cool. Definitely an interesting game.
I might have to look that one up.
Yeah.
That's one thing. That's
probably on. Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say that's one thing that I've noticed is some people have asked about certain games, and it's like, yeah, I could play it, but there's not much of a story to it. It's like,
So
there's-
Oddworld,
yeah.
The Stranger's Wrath does have a story, but for the most part, it's not quick to come into play, because near the beginning you're just doing all this bounty hunting and stuff like that. But it does evolve as it goes on. But it feels like it would be something up your alley just because of how much fun you've been having with Red Dead. I feel like you would really get a kick out of this one. And you can switch between first and third person. You don't have to play it in first person. It has a third person mode.
Yeah, that's like I played a few. I did a few videos on like Borderlands, and it's like, I mean, Borderlands is a fun game, and sure it has a story, but it's like it is just so much run and gun.
I could never get. I'll be honest with you. I could never get into Borderlands. The only Borderlands I really liked was the Telltale one, but that was not really Borderlands. That was like set in the Borderlands universe, but it was a it's hard, just a point-and-click adventure game.
Yeah, it was literally Tales of the Borderlands.
Yeah.
So it was very much. It was more story forward. Which, yeah, like I said, it's like, you know, the Borderlands series is just like, it's like, yeah, there's story, but there's too much run and gun to it with not enough story behind, you know, really kind of driving it. It's like, okay, well, you know, we've done all this stuff, but we still have to go and do, like, kill 25 of these things, so... All right, we're going on this long ass hunt.
Talking about a series where one of their face characters literally has the idle line of loot and shoot and shoot and loot.
Yeah. It's one of that's one of those that's not very streamer friendly. I'm kind of surprised that Minecraft ever was really big as far as streaming goes, because it's like,
well, some of the biggest stuff you can do in Minecraft now is insane. Like, so I ended up buying. I'm not a big fan of Minecraft. First of all, I just need to say this. But I'm not good at the whole building bases, or I've never been good at that kind of stuff. But they made a map that you can buy for, like, I think it's like $8, and it's all of Gotham City. And it's story based. It's you play as Batman and Robin. You can have multiple people join you, and so you can play as Batman, Robin, Nightwing, Red Hood, I believe, is one, etc. But anyway, Batgirl. But anyway, so you start out at Wayne Manor. You go through Wayne Manor. You go down into the Batcave, and you find out Alfred's been kidnapped by Joker, and Joker has sent him to an alternate dimension. And in order to open the dimension, you have to get all the keys from all the different villains who are all throughout Gotham City. So you take the Batmobile and you go out into this open world Gotham City, all Minecraft. And it looks stunning. Like, the Gotham City looks just as good as it did in, like, the Arkham games. It's massive. And you have to fight Clayface, Two-Face, Penguin, Riddler, Harley Quinn, all of the main villains, Mr. Freeze. And for every villain that you kill, you get a key. And once you get all the keys, you unlock a portal that leads into an alternate realm where Joker has turned this realm into, like, Jokerville. And you have to fight him and rescue Alfred. It's really long. And pretty amazing that it was all done in Minecraft, and it's very story based.
Yeah, but that's very different from what, you know, from the massive thing that I mean, I guess to be fair, most of the Minecraft stuff that really took off was like stupid challenges and stuff like that more than anything else, because it's like,
yeah,
there's not, I mean, again, there is story and lore in Minecraft, but it's like it's buried under so much monotony.
I agree. Like the main Minecraft, I get bored of really easily. Like my friends love it and they want to play it all the time, but it's like to me, it bores me. To me, it's just boring. I will join them on it just to be social, but I mean, it's not my kind of game. Now the Batman Minecraft world and stuff like that's different because there's story there.
Yeah, but that's something that somebody else has created within it, and that
Yeah, it's made by the creator of Minecraft, but yeah, no, it's one of those maps that you can download.
Yeah, but it's not just Minecraft. That's my thing. Is
no, it's
no.
No.
Now I have thought that maybe at some point we should we should see who all has like Valheim, because I know at least
no.
What?
I don't have the game.
Okay. Well, I know Kaden does.
What?
Valheim.
Yeah. What about it?
I was thinking maybe sometime we should try and see if we can get the Pirates crew into Valheim.
Yeah, I could use restarting a world, because honestly, I tried getting it together with a group earlier, and one of them decided, hey, I'm just going to be that guy, and gave everybody in-game level equipment like right off. So
no, it would be.
We're all like, this kind of sucks now that we literally can't die.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that I have. I'm always kind of questioning as far as like stuff like that, because it's like, yeah, if somebody's played like a shit ton of this game, then it's like, it's they can start off with, especially with Valheim, it's like, yeah, they can start off with like, oh hey, I've got all this shit, let's just get out. Yeah, we're not even worrying about that.
Best part was they had all the in-game level shit, they still couldn't build a house worth a damn.
That's just sad.
Well, because we like constantly sat there, we're like, okay, we need to build this, and he's like, all right, well, I'll go build this hearth, and then would forget to add a chimney.
How? So, all right, yeah. As of right now, it's $19.99 for Valheim. Not horrible.
I was looking to see if it's on console, but it doesn't look like it is, which sucks. So I'd have to get it on PC. All right.
But yeah, it's kind of one of those crafting fighting type games. But it's, I mean, I've done a few streams on that.
Okay. I swear I've joined a few streams of you playing it. Yeah.
It is an enjoyable game, but it's like, yeah, it's one of those games that you can create a world and have people join and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Dear gods, the the four of us on Raft would be. Oh my god, that would probably.
I feel like that should be the graduation. We'll try Valheim first, just to get a feel for how the teamwork goes. And then when we realize who's going to be the assholes and who are going to be the serious ones, then we go to Raft.
Yeah.
We go to Raft and then we drown the ones who are the assholes. And what?
No. We just
you can try that, but
sacrifice them to the.
Yeah, I was gonna say we feed them to Bruce. It's like, here, Bruce, eat that person. Let us go. Thank you. No. Because I know for a fact I'd probably be the one to be like, no, just go eat him. Wait a second, but it's my world.
Yes, it's your world.
We're taking control. We'll call it not Ollamhville.
No, I mean, I'll warn you right now. If you irritate me, I will wait until you're at the highest point in the world, and I will kick you down. For funsies, while you're falling, I'll make sure to set you on fire.
Wow. Jeez.
But yeah, I mean, I like I said, I know Valheim is a fun game. That's. I don't know. I think they may have kind of lowered the some of the stuff since the last time I played. As far as some of the very rough parts trying to go solo. I think last time I tried any of it, it was what was it, like the Shadowlands or something like that, or the mist, the swamps, I think it was, that I was going to, and it's like every time I got near them, it's like, oh no, here's three monsters that will kill you within like a few hits, and I'm
what
like,
the damn skeletons? It was those giant Trents, and I hated those.
yeah, I think last time I played, it was like I was almost to the swamps, and all of a sudden it was like, oh hey, here's this Grim Reaper looking fucking thing, and it's like, yeah, it was just like, I didn't even get to the land before it killed me. I'm like, well, fuck. What the hell am I supposed to do? It's like, I don't know. I have no idea what to do. It's like, somebody was like, oh, well, yeah, this just kind of sucks. It's like, you have to be really, really careful where you go in. It's like, that's just, that just kills the fun for me, at least. It's like, but yeah, it's like, at least if you have, from what I understand, if you have other people, it's not as difficult. It's like, maybe it might not be a bad idea to try it.
Yeah. I don't know how good I'd be in it, but I'm willing to give it a go.
I mean, it's there are some finer points to like learning some of the stuff, but it's not that bad. It's not that bad of a learning curve to it.
As far as Valheim goes, the way I learned it was honestly, if you played RuneScape back in the day, you know 90% of the system.
Shit, I think I was gonna say, I'm sitting here thinking, well, damn, you know, there should, you know, I know a few people that should at least be halfway decent at it then.
I mean, and the rest of it's just intuition. You get a stick. What do you do with the stick? You hit that thing over there with the stick. All right, what do you do then? Then you grab another stick. Then you build a house.
Somebody fall asleep? I think Raskin fell asleep.
I think Ras may have fallen asleep.
That's funny.
Well, that's a first.
Well, not really. Not really now. I mean, it's the first time we've heard snoring.
Falling asleep on the stream. It's the first time he's done it.
It's the first time we've heard snoring on the stream. I remember the jazz punk stream that we were doing.
Yes, I know. I'm still mad out on the jazz punk.
I literally said, I think Caden fell asleep, and nothing. It's just like, yeah, I'm pretty sure.
I'm still happy that I didn't have to explain to you the fear and loathing jokes, because I've seen so many streamers that just goes right over their head. It makes no sense to me.
Really?
Yeah. Because they'll look at it and they'll be like, oh, this looks like that guy in that movie, but like he's not there. Like, I don't know what his name is. It's like, it's Hunter S. Thompson.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know what that's referencing. I'm like, how do you not know?
Right? Alright. There we go. Yeah, that's.
Did I
yeah.
pick my way into a kitchen?
Do what?
There's just like random doors in this game that are locked, and I just lockpicked one, and I think I just spent all 4 of my lockpicks getting into somebody's kitchen.
There you go. Steal their bread.
I was gonna say,
See, you jumped on that, but this is the Outer Worlds. Bread is actually one of the most valuable items in the game.
I have the Outer Worlds. Yeah, no, I know.
Yeah,
It's a good game.
I'm debating on
Kinda,
what to
it kind of
Hmm?
reminds me of Fallout, except like in the science fiction-y. I don't know. It's interesting.
Yeah. I'm debating on whether or not I want to just murder the entire
Oh!
Spacer's Choice colony.
oh shit. Well, there's a reason why. There actually is a very good reason why the Outer Worlds reminds you of Fallout.
They
Because
have the
it's-
same. Yeah.
Yeah, it was the creators of the original Fallout.
Have you ever played the Outer Worlds, Olaf?
Yes, I have played it.
Yeah.
I've not played it on stream, but yes, I have played the game.
that would explain why all the mascots remind me of Pit Boys so much.
Yep. Yeah. When Fallout 4 came out, and I'll expand on that later next time. But yeah, they when Bethesda kind of was like, we're just gonna go our own way with the Fallout series and just not worry about all the stuff that you actually created. The people who created Fallout were
Yeah.
really focused on them. Like, oh well, in that case, we're taking our system back and making something new. So fuck you. Personally, I think I really think, yeah, I really do think that that Bethesda kind of just really kind of ruined some parts of Fallout.
Fallout 76. So I haven't played Fallout 76 until recently. So it was free on PlayStation Plus this month, which is that service where you can pay. I think it's like $11 a month, and you get access to free stuff and whatnot. So Fallout 76 was the game that was free this month, among Jedi Fallen Order, Fallout 76, and a game called Axiom Verge 2. And so me and my friend played it for the first time, and I got to admit I wasn't impressed. I don't know. I've been hearing from multiple friends that, oh no, it's improved since it first came out. But to me, I would rather play Fallout 4 or Fallout 3.
That is one of those that's one of those weird things that it's like, you can say, hey, it's improved since it came out. It's like, okay, but if it was complete and utter dog shit and it's improved, that just means that it might be up to the point of being human shit. It's still shit.
Human shit.
It just has a bit more texture and nuance to it.
Yeah. Jesus. Somebody snores loud.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, I'm like, okay, I've got him muted, so he's not actually coming through on the
Oh. Okay.
on my end. So I'm like, wait, I don't hear anything. It's like, oh, right. I just went ahead and muted him so that the audience isn't just occasionally hearing this.
Fair enough. But yeah, no, Valheim would be fun to play, I think, as a group. We should also play some more, at some point, maybe some more Cards Against Humanity or something similar to it. I think that would be fun. Quiplash, I think, would be fun to play with everybody. Because you don't actually have to own the game. Like, I could host the game, And as long as you guys have a cell phone, you just go to the Quiplash website and you join
Yeah.
in through that.
We could always. It doesn't matter which one of us hosts, just as long as we have cell phones.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, I mean, it kind of does, because we want to have like your view being able to being broadcast to the audience. So like the overall like.
Yeah, so it would have to be Ollamh playing it and hosting, I would assume.
Well, either that or set up some way of being able to see your screen as, for that. But I mean, that should be doable.
I mean, that's a matter of share screen, patch it through OBS, and then whoever's streaming that day streams their screen.
Yeah. Or I know Caden has been talking about kind of doing an offshoot of Pirates and was wanting to do like more trivia stuff.
Yeah, I'm trying to actually like find lists of questions, because I was thinking it was fun and all, but it was kind of bogged down with us trying to think of stuff.
Yeah, everybody was pulling from different sources.
Yeah, so I think this time we should like all create a list of questions with our niches, and then we can kind of merge them and have fun.
Yeah,
that sounds good.
Yeah. But yeah, that's one of the things that I would like to see this year, is kind of like, not always, it doesn't always have to be from my channel. It's like we're this is a community thing, so if somebody else wants to host like a Quiplash thing and do it on their stream and be like, okay, well, I can broadcast the you can broadcast the main screen and everything, and everybody else just just goes in on their cell phones and stuff and participates. That's fine. I'm all for it. I mean, I've said it before. I have no problem if somebody else wants to be like, oh hey, can I host this Pirates? I'll make sure to advertise this stream just the same as I always do for mine.
Yeah. Yeah, it sounds like a good idea. I know that Stu on my channel, he said to me the other day, he goes, I'm always having you on my channel. Why don't you have me on yours? I said, I didn't know you wanted to be on my channel. He's like, yeah, let's play a game together on your channel. I'm like, oh, okay. So he played an old Atari 2600 game the other day that it played a lot like Overcooked. And I said to him, well, I mean, it literally feels like Overcooked, so why don't I bring you on my channel at some point? You and I could play Overcooked together. But first I got to teach him how to play it, because he's never played Overcooked. Okay.
See, that's the point where you just drop him in, just like, okay, we're playing this. Where does go, bitch?
Oh, hold on. Have you seen what happens when you drop Stu into something? There is a lot of angry screaming involved.
Yeah.
I don't want to scare away everybody.
Channel?
That game is definitely one that encourages rage, I think, with the level of speed you have to have.
There's a lot of games like that are just, that's...
Yep.
Thank you, YouTube, for reminding me that I'm a moderator for this channel that has absolutely no chat action going on right now.
It's kind of weird how, there's a lot of people just kind of just watch and chill.
I mean, that's fine. Lurkers are always good. I mean, hell, if it weren't for the fact that I eventually earned a spot on Pirates, I'd probably still just be a lurker.
Yeah, but that was kind of, I mean, that was kind of bound to happen, really.
Yeah, we get along too well for this not to have just been a natural thing.
Well, it was kind of interesting because if I remember correctly, we were, you had brought up the idea of, oh, well, hey, there's always podcasts. It's like, oh, hey, I was trying to put together a podcast back in the day before the pandemic and everything that just, everybody kind of was forced into going their own ways and stuff like that. And it's like, well, maybe we should try that again. Maybe I should try that again, and we'll do this. And it's like, oh, hey, I'd love to be a part of that. And then I think Sin was like, hey, I'll do it. And it's like, all right, well, let's just... And it just kind of went from there.
Yeah.
And then this weird Canadian just showed up and was like, oh,
I know,
hey,
right?
I can talk about stuff.
Just randomly appeared, spawned into existence.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what happens when you get too many assholes in one place. A Canadian appears to try to balance out.
To try to calm everybody down. Here, have some maple syrup.
Well, hey, every group of assholes needs somebody to be the butt of all the jokes.
Oh.
And for once, it's not me, so I'm happy.
I mean, come on, that's kind of Canada's primary export is like the butt of jokes.
I sent a comic to the live stream chat, which is very in tune to what we were talking about earlier on in the stream tonight, and I think you get a kick out of it, Ollamh.
Oh, yeah, I've seen that one.
Definitive statement about your political and moral values.
Yeah. There's a lot of time. Yeah, I will agree. There's a lot of people that do just like they read too much into it. It's like, oh, you like this?
Yep.
That must mean that you're this and this and this. Like how many people these days are like, oh, well, I watch MMA. Oh, you must be an Andrew Tate fan. It's like, God no.
Believe it or not, MMA existed before Andrew Tate.
Or these days, I guess they'd be like, "Oh, you must be a Logan Paul fan."
It existed before too.
I will say this: I am actually kind of interested to see what happens with no, I guess it's Jake Paul that's going into MMA. I am morbidly interested to see what happens with that. Because every single MMA fighter he has fought, it has always been a boxing match, which limits, they're trained to use any and all attacks that they can.
Yeah.
And it's like, but you're limiting them to just their fists.
But he relies too much on his boxing.
Mm-hmm. So he limits these MMA fighters down to just using boxing techniques. So they're out of their element. It's like, what's going to happen when he goes into MMA and it's like, oh no, we know what the fuck we're doing, asshole. This ain't boxing. This is not you're in our house now, motherfucker.
Well, it's not just that. It's because of Jake's nature, because of where he came from. He still has a tendency to broadcast way too much about himself. Which means any weaknesses he has, anything that he's been having trouble with, he's gonna tell, and they're just gonna know right off.
Yeah, I'm kind of morbidly interested in what's gonna happen, mostly because I look forward to seeing the short little videos of him just getting his ass torn up. Cause yeah, it's like, I mean, even the boxers that he's fought, it's like, okay, so he gets like, who was it? Was it George Floyd that he got in? That he, and George Floyd's like, hey, I'm getting paid. I don't give a fuck who wins. I'm getting money. And it's like, so you've already said that you are in it just for the money, not for an actual fight. Your heart's not in it.
Yeah.
You step in the ring, you've already made your money. why go further if all you're interested in is the money?
Yeah.
The dialogue in this game, man.
I'm kind of afraid to ask.
You take. I just wiped out an entire bandit colony, and the woman who ran off to try and lead these bandits then comes up because she got her ass kidnapped, runs up to you, and she's like, "Oh my god, you crossed them all off the list like some sort of heroic accountant."
It's funny.
I will say I kind of like that. Mostly because when I went to college, in high school and college, that was my major, was accountancy. And now I would much rather just like slaughter a bunch of motherfuckers than deal with their finances. So, I mean,
I'm suddenly reminded of UHF and their Conan the Librarian.
Yeah, that was an interesting time. It was a very, very interesting time to be an accountant major. Because I think it was 3 years. No, it was 2 years it was 2 years at community college, then I was going to go to a university. Problem was at towards the end of my second year at community college, all of a sudden the accountant program was merged into the business management program. So the symmetrical classes that they had, business management had a certain version of it, and accountants had a certain version of it. So all of a sudden, I had to take the business management versions. So I was literally going through the exact same shit that I had spent 2 years doing, and they're like, "Okay, so we're gonna cover this." I'm like, "Oh my god, I did this. I've already done this. I actually had to do this twice for the account program." And I just completely checked the fuck out. I'm like, I can't do this. I can't go through the same thing a third time. This is too fucking boring. That and business management is... I learned the secret to business management. I've learned the secret to training people to be managers in business. Take a fresh, young person with ideas, beat every original idea out of their brain,
and steal them.
No, not steal them. Replace them with, this is how we have done things before, this is how we will always do things, and then set them out in the world. They do not want original ideas. They want people who are going to do things the way they have always been done, and that's it. This is why so many businesses struggle to adapt to new technologies like you actually said it before, Caden. People trying to, old business people trying to understand TikTok. Or doing a YouTube video. They'll never understand it because they don't want new ideas. They want the same old shit we have always fucking done, and anything new is to be shunned and suppressed as hard as can be. That being said, there are some people that are like trying very, very lamely to latch on to new ideas that really just They're trying.
Should.
Yeah. Elon Musk is the prime example. Like, I understand. I am never gonna be really, really great at working with Twitter. It came about so late enough in my life that it's difficult for me to adapt to the Twitter style of doing things. But at least I don't try and be like it's like the Steve Buscemi thing. It's like, hey youths, how's things going? It's like, no.
What do you do for the kids?
Yeah, it's like, no, just no. That is Elon Musk at this point. He is so trying to be this hip young kid that it's like, dude, you are past it. Just accept that. It's like, if you really, really absolutely have to like tweet stuff and get into the whole Twitter space and stuff, embrace your age and go for, and just like fully dive into the I'm old and don't understand this. But he can't do it. He can't admit that he doesn't understand something. He has to try and like prove that, no, I know everything. I'm a genius. I'm brilliant. And that's why for the entirety of this year, Twitter stock has been under $125. It's like every time he fucks around on Twitter, every time he fucks around on Twitter, the Tesla stock just kind of like goes like, we're going up. Never mind. He fucking did something on Twitter.
We're gonna do something awesome. We're gonna share. Never mind.
It's like, I prefer being politically neutral. Hey, let's go full on one side or the other. And it's like, oh, God damn it.
I enjoy being politically neutral. If by neutral, we mean definitely this.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, maybe somebody should send him a dictionary with like the word neutral highlighted and be like, look on this page. Read the highlighted note, the highlighted entry. It might help.
God forbid we ever try to send him an alignment chart.
Isn't Elon Musk trying to sell Twitter now?
Is he?
Yep.
Oh my God.
Yeah, he's trying to sell it off.
So he said that because everybody was so angry at him that he was going to give the role of CEO and owner to another person. But then he's like, oh, well, no one stepped forward in Twitter, so I guess I'll just have to sell it.
Well, the one person who stepped in was
I mean, there
was the guy who created MySpace.
Well, there were a few people that like, I'll take over Twitter, and like, we're actually serious about it, but it's like, he's never gonna trust you. He's just no, you're yeah, it's just like, no, it's just not gonna work.
I think we should all take a moment to appreciate that the meme really did come true. We are all looking at Tom from MySpace. We're like, yes, Tom, we do miss you now.
Right? I'm actually kind of surprised. Actually, I was about to say I'm kind of surprised that Elon Musk didn't do the Tom thing and be like, everybody automatically follows him. But he kind of did that without an actual follow. Because
yeah.
After he took ownership and became CEO of Twitter, all of a sudden, like, everything Elon Musk tweeted suddenly was showing up in my timeline, even though I've never followed Elon.
Yeah. He's on everybody's feed, and it's like, we think you may be interested in.
Yeah, it's like, gee, wow, that's, yeah, it's like, motherfucker, no. I actually had to fucking mute him so that I wasn't seeing his shit everywhere. It's like, hey, here's a couple tweets from people that you actually follow, And here's 6 tweets from fucking Elon Musk. It's like, I don't care what he has to fucking say. He's a dumbass. It's like, just no, I don't care. I don't care. But yeah, he just, it was very, very just like, wow, that is... I just, yeah, I mean, I'm kind of amused at the fact that he is trying to sell Twitter. And part of me says, wow, you have burned, I don't know how many billions of dollars he's going to fucking have burned when he finally manages to sell it. But it's like nobody's paying the $44 billion that he paid for it. It's like it's like at this point,
yeah,
you're lucky to get $5 billion, I think, honestly. I don't know what he's I don't know what he's gonna sell it for, but it's gonna be.
I feel like Twitter was better off in the hands of the people who had it before.
I mean, his whole big, oh well, we're gonna release the Twitter files. It's like that fucking blew up in his face spectacularly. Like, oh man, that could not have gone any. That just, oh, that was a thing of beauty, honestly, because it's like, hey, you're
What was the Twitter files? What was that?
The Twitter files was supposed to be him releasing all of the information that Twitter had, of all the things that Twitter had done before he took ownership. All the old owners, these are all the things that they did. Except for he didn't just release the raw data. He released it to certain people that then went through it and curated everything and then reported on it with extreme bias. So one of the first Twitter file things that was like, I don't know how long the thread was, but it was fucking enormous. But one of the things, but the main focus was Joe Biden's campaign in 2020 sent out requests to Twitter to have certain posts removed. Those certain posts involved a picture of Hunter Biden's dick.
Okay.
And people were trying, it was spun as, see, Joe Biden and his administration, and it was quoted as his administration, not his campaign, made requests that certain things be removed, and it was, and those things were then removed. It was naked pictures of his son that very clearly that were not given to any of these people. They were supposedly found on Hunter Biden's laptop, which, nobody gave them permission to distribute these pictures. Therefore, it was a copyright issue before anything else. And yeah, it was, but they just they posted the links of what were the links that were requested to be removed, not the actual content of those posts. So it made it look like Hunter Biden was like, no, remove this thing that is negative towards me. It's like, no, everything that was requested to be removed were the naked pictures of Hunter Biden. It's like,
yeah,
that's revenge porn. That is straight up revenge porn. Sorry, but that's all it is. It's like that's what he was asking to have removed. I can't imagine why a father would want naked pictures of his adult son removed from a fucking website. But that was supposed to be the big that was supposed to be the big the big ooh ah moment, and it's like, and they ignored the fact that the Trump administration and the Trump campaign also asked for stuff to be removed. It's like it was curated to make one party look bad and the other party to look sane.
Well, that doesn't make that. I mean, that makes sense because Elon Musk has always stated, long before Twitter, that he's a huge Trump supporter. So, I mean, that to me doesn't really shock me that it went that way, because that's what he as soon as he became the owner of Twitter, the first thing he did was try to get Trump to come back, and Trump said no.
Oh, I loved that. I loved that. The whole, like, the Twitter and Trump and, lead me not into temptation. It's like, dude, are you literally asking Trump to fuck Twitter in the ass? Because that's sure as hell what it looks like. That's just... I mean, tell me that wasn't, surely at least one of you guys knows what I'm talking about, the post that I'm talking about.
I think so, yeah.
Like the Twitter with this girl bent over and like Trump as this monk and, looking up and in prayer and lead me not into temptation. It's like, yeah, seriously, it's like, you really don't know what it is that you're fucking posting here, man.
Yeah.
It's wow, it's interesting. It's just, yeah, the entire thing, the entire Musk owning Twitter has been such a debacle, and I'm really surprised that nobody that it hasn't come to. I think $100 is the floor for the Tesla board to be like, look, we need to fucking get rid of Elon Musk. We need to get... He's not doing anything for us. He is a fucking clown. We have suffered enough for him, from him.
Yeah.
The thing is, the past few years have really been showing exactly that this rich, upper-class, quote-unquote, elite that we've all been idolizing for how many decades now are really just jackasses and jagoffs that don't know what the hell they're doing. And yet, we're still letting them keep positions of power. But I'm going to stop right there because this is going to get into a place we don't want to go.
Well, I will go into that a little bit. I'll go into that a little bit. Mostly because the stock market in general is such a fucking bullshit thing to look at. I mean, it's if you look at the stock market, what is it? It really has nothing to do with how the company is doing. It is literally nothing but, it's gambling for rich people. It is an off-track betting parlor for rich people. Because it has nothing to do with how the company is doing now. You are betting on whether or not more people are going to want your piece of paper in the future than they do now. That's all it is.
Yeah.
I mean, I you know, so many people look at it as, oh, hey, you know, it tells you how well the economy is doing. It's like, no, whether people are buying new cars, whether people are buying, you know, are able to afford, you know, new cars, new electronics, you know, the newest and best stuff, that's how you know the economy is doing well. By what the regular person can afford, not how much rich people are willing to invest in a specific company or not. That doesn't tell you shit. They're gambling, and they never gamble more than they can afford to lose. Well, for the most part.
Most.
What was that?
He said he's going to take off because it's been about 3 hours.
Oh. All I heard was this like high pitched almost I don't know what I don't know what he said. It was like this kind of like it pitched up and then it cut off.
Oh.
So I just like I have no idea. I have no idea what he said.
Fair enough. Weird.
I mean, that's a fair point. It has been, it has been about 3 hours. That's about, wow, no, it's been 3 hours and 20 minutes. Yeah. I think that is more than long enough.
Yeah.
For sure. Absolutely. We had a good conversation.
That this was made by the same people who made Fallout. Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah. It's,
like this computer terminal that I just hacked into, which is like, in accordance to company policy, in the event of a catastrophic emergency, all security logs will be deleted.
Yeah.
Which is then followed by, your security update is overdue. Please turn in your badge for an immediate reprimand. Failure to do so will result in an immediate reprimand.
Yeah, very, yeah. It's they kept a lot of the they kept a lot of the core concepts and ideas and humor, and I love it. They even made a better explanation for the VATS stuff.
Yeah,
like the time crunch or whatever it is. Yeah, that's just VATS.
Yeah, the entire game feels like Fallout to me. Like, it just playing it, it literally just felt like Fallout.
Yeah, the time dilation is great because, like, no. That's just because you've spent so much time in cryosleep being pumped full of adrenaline. Your brain no longer works right.
Yeah, that's. I appreciate that more than like, oh no, your Pip-Boy somehow slows down time. And
yeah, that's the one thing I hated about Fallout. It's like everything's about the Pip-Boy. I was like, how? Explain to me how.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, at least in the original 2 Fallout games, it was like, no, it's not that. It's, you know, you're just generally aiming at the person and firing versus you are aiming at a specific part of them, which takes up more action points. It doesn't slow down time or anything like that. And then Bethesda got their hands on something like, no, we got to do something that slows down time and allows you to because it's all real time, we have to slow down time so that you can aim at specific parts. And we don't know why. We're calling it VATS because why not? Yeah, I don't think they've ever explained how VATS actually works in their games. It just does.
Pretty much.
Anyway, yeah, I think it's time to call it a night. As always, guys, thank you very much for being here. Couldn't do it without you, as I say every time, or try to say every time.
Well, you could. It would just be a one-sided conversation.
I mean, well, no, I couldn't because I would drive myself more insane than I am now.
I was about to say, I'd love to see him have a one-sided conversation trying to emulate me.
Oh.
There we go. We need to. That needs to be a future prior to the Geek Vortex episode.
Nope. No. Long no. All right, you guys want to say goodnight?
Yeah, have a good night, guys. Thank you for tuning in. See you next week.
Good night, have a great time, and hopefully we will have some surprises for you this year.
Yep.
Oh, I'm sure we'll have some surprises. Good or bad? That's the real question.
You never say good or bad, it's just a surprise.
Well,
That's funny.
yeah, surprises can be good or bad.
What? Wait. He woke up? He woke up for the end.
He's been up for 5 minutes.
Wait, what? He has? Oh.
Yeah. He's been answering. He's just like little
You didn't tell me. I've had him muted all this time because he was snoring.
Well, he hadn't actually like woken up. He just sit there and mumble and like make like an affirmative or a negative.
So no one caught it earlier when I was actually talking. I get that I fell asleep for a bit.
I think
I
hear you over, so I might not have caught it.
I muted you about the time that you were snoring into your mic, and that was all.
No, that's my excuse.
All right. Well, we're just finishing up for tonight.
No, I've been listening for a little bit now, unmute or unsnoring.
But nobody told me. I couldn't hear.
I didn't even realize. I didn't even realize.
Well, someone was responding to me earlier.
It wasn't me.
I don't think it was me.
Wait.
Are you sure you were dreaming this?
Wait. No. Wait. Gamers, when you said he said he was going to bed and stuff like that, who were you referring to?
Oh no, we were referring to that. That like we call it that. I'm saying even earlier in the stream.
No.
Like you're like a yes or a no.
My point is that I thought the Gamers was saying that Caden said that.
That's what I thought too. I thought it was Caden who said that.
Okay, I sound nothing like wrestling. My voice is not that smooth.
Aww.
So when Gamers said, "Oh hey, he said he's going to bed because he's tired," it's like, okay, I thought he was talking about Caden, but he was actually hearing wrestling. Oh.
Yeah, I thought it was Caden too. So.
And now I know I still snore.
Yes, you do.
Yes.
Yep.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and do my sign off and go to bed. So, as always, guys, thank you very much for being here.
Very welcome. Thank you.
And I don't.
All right. Well, as always, thank you guys very much for being here. Looks like there was a fair number of you that were just lurking, which is, hey, we're here to provide entertainment. If you liked the video, don't forget to the like button. If you're new here, don't forget to press the subscribe button. If you want some merch, specifically some Red Dead Redemption merch, our poster, notebook, and stickers are available in the top link down below. Then there are 2 different ways to directly help out the channel. The Patreon link and the Ko-fi page. If you want to be kept up to date of when we go live and stuff like that, make sure to ring the bell. But also, check out the social media links down below all of that. The Facebook page, the Twitter account, the Tumblr account, and the permanent invite for the Discord server. All that so that you can stay tuned for more from Ollamh Productions. Cheerio!